Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 2 of the 2018 Australian Speedway Championships. Aidan Williams here, of course, alongside Mark Brax and your 3-time world champion, Jason Crum. Braxy, a man out of pit lane. You've stepped onto the Speedway circuit this year, and what a round we had only a few days ago.
Certainly was, and it's shaping up. We could have a winner, a different winner at each round. I reckon it's going to be brilliant. Tungate was in a world of his own there last weekend. Only missed out on the perfect score by 1 point. Fricky, he was unlucky. Kurtz was more unlucky to put 4 together, then have a really dodgy mechanical issue with a wire coming loose, which stopped his run. There's going to be a lot of guys in with a chance tonight. Other ones that stood out to me last week with Pickering. Yep. At his local track, coming down to this tight little number of a track is going to be completely different. But I really reckon after Sam Masters had probably one of the worst races or meetings he's had in recent years, I think he's had a good think about it. He's going to come out. He's got the build around this track to really muscle the bike around. But watch out for Max Frick. He's a local lad, so I reckon him. But I reckon Masters is going to be the one that's going to take it out.
Now, though we did see Masters about as bad a weekend as you can possibly have, it really was terrible for him. We come in here shorter, tighter, hardback track. It's going to be a Masters specialty class.
Well, anybody that's got a bit of weight behind him, after talking to Crumpy during the course of the day and watching a bit of the practice, and it's so tight and it's a lot narrow. It makes Curry look like the Olympic Stadium. It really is a short little track, and the start is going to be ultra critical, and I believe that it'll be pretty hard to pass, and getting that start's going to be all important tonight.
Now, over to you, JC. Of course, you're the only man to see the track earlier today. Completely different conditions?
Oh, absolutely. 360 degrees difference. I was trying to give you guys in the TV truck a bit of entertainment, as you saw, but I could hardly slide the bike. It was that grippy this morning. I think the track guys have actually probably watched what the difficulties I was having and the trouble I was getting into, and I've probably done all the riders a favour, because as we saw, they've been out on the graders and done a great job to probably get the excess dirt and material off the track. So rough start to the day for me, ending up on my backside in front of all you guys, but you know, I'd rather me this morning than these guys in the event tonight.
And they really have. Since you're seeing you go out for those laps, there really has been a lot of changes in the track. Well, look at it now. It's an immaculate track with that hard pack inside line.
Yeah, as we've touched on briefly, this track's really small. We're talking 282 or 285 metres, so it's a tricky little track. You have to turn the bike really hard on the way into the turns to get around. Too much grip and too much material on the way in is a bit of a problem, so they've taken a bit of that away. It was a little bit slicker than we would have liked in practice, but rather go that way than have it as a wild cowboy track with a lot of dirt on.
It was definitely a cowboy track out there this morning. The cowboy coming off the horse was you. However, we throw to now to the series hopefuls, and of course it was Tungate, so dominant of that first round. Maybe not a track that's going to suit him quite as well tonight?
I agree. I don't think this is the sort of track that Rowan looks forward to coming to. Braxy touched on it. A bit more muscle and a bit more use of the body, a bit more physical this track, if anything. Sam Masters, maybe Mason Campton as a dark horse. Jamin Lidsley's got, you know, he's a fit young fella as well. Mate, they're all fit guys, but you know, from the way the guys looked in practice, for me, in my opinion, there was a couple of standouts. Sam Masters has got a bit of the eye of the tiger back. He had a shocker in Curry, wants to do well tonight. Brady Kurtz didn't get what he wanted so much out of Curry. He looked pretty good to me in practice as well, but as you guys touched on just before, we could have a different winner every round, no doubt. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few different finalists at the end of the night tonight.
Well, it has been an interesting series, but you, as we said, the only man to get out there and check out a couple of laps. He did do a little bit of soil testing, so let's go up and take a look at JC's laps.
Well, here we are with the GoPro footage, Crumpy, of your exhibition, getting out there where we can see the difference in the sunshine and everything, and talk us through it.
That wasn't a bad entry. It's as you can see, the tracks are nowhere near as shiny. There's a lot more material on it, just especially on the way in. It was tough to get the bike turned on the way in, and then a little bit slippery on the way out. But I was basically not far off the correct racing line, just not quite at the pace these boys are going. And it was tough to do those laps, Braxy. It was rough, and
it looks like you're tipping it in like a road racing bike there at the start before the back starts to come round on you, isn't it?
Absolutely. And on a technical little track like this, you have to kind of almost back it into the corner, and with the amount of dirt that was on there this morning, that
you got a bit crossed up there.
It certainly wasn't happening, but it was all good fun, and as we said before, it gave you guys a bit of a laugh to see me on my backside early in the morning.
Why not? 3 times world champion. It's always good to see that you really are human after all. But looking at this track now from this above the track footy angle, even though there's a couple of straights there, you couldn't really say that there is a straight, isn't it? Because as soon as you come out of one corner, you're trying to tip it into the next one.
Not really a whole lot of resting time on this track. It's a tricky track. Last time I rode here actually was 1992, I think, and it's a long time ago. But it's one of the few bike-specific tracks in the country, and I don't think it's changed since it was opened in, what was it, the late 70s or something, I think?
Yeah, 1979. Yep, they were all the way back then. It's 270 metres long, and it's a stone base with a shale surface.
Yeah, really European-style track, which is kind of uncommon in Aussie. But
well, they were saying that the locals were saying that they actually designed it on some of the English tracks, because as you know, better than most of us, a lot of the tracks over there, they're very small, mainly because of where they've actually been built over the years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But Rod North was a rider who raced in the UK for a few years for Stoke and probably a few other tracks that I don't know, and I guess when he started racing and started coming home at the end of the European season, he would have been instrumental in getting this circuit built the way it is. Another great thing to see is the junior speedway track again on the inside, catering for the young kids and the future of the sport. And not a bad turnout, Braxy, as well. A few people in to watch the proceedings as well.
Well, it's probably not far from the fans in Melbourne to get up here. A few-hour drive, make a bit of a weekend out of it, come out in a brilliant afternoon. Obviously, anybody that's not here wouldn't know that it's nothing like we've put up with a couple of days ago on Saturday night in Curry when, the air temperature was 42, 43 degrees, let alone what the track temperature was like. That would have been up nudging around 70 degrees, I reckon, at some times during the afternoon. We've already got the Twitter sphere going as well, so Happy New Year to you too, Charlotte. It's and remember, the hashtag 2018 Speedway Oz is the one to send your messages in to us during the course of the night. If you've got any questions for a guy that knows his way around a speedway track, ask Crumpy and we'll try and answer them during the course of the evening. And you just touched on the juniors there, and a good thing for the people here tonight, they got a few of the juniors coming out with their 125s and 250s where it all started from. So a bit of everything. Last week we just a few days ago, we just settled on the international guys. Well, most of them internationals, 8 of them racing in England and various parts of Europe. But this time the little kids get a chance to get out and strut their stuff as well. As everybody's just starting to get a bit of excitement into the veins as the final watering track scraping is going on. And like we've alluded to before, I reckon this is a good chance, one of the best chances of in many years that we could have a new round winner at every round, and it really will go down to the wire in Adelaide on Sunday night, and it will be like poor old Fricky Kurtz had on Saturday night, a little mechanical issue that could change the colour of your whole season here, and whoever's going to join an illustrious number of riders that goes right back to the 20s when that first started, the Australian Speedway Championship, and right back to 1926 was the first one in Newcastle. So we've got
big old history with the sport, Braxy, isn't there?
Well, that's 92 years.
It's crazy when you think about it, isn't it? And there's our current point standings after round 1 at Curry.
Yeah, Rowan Tungate there, the Curry local, on the lead, 18 points. Just nearly got the perfect score of 19. He had 4 wins and 1 second. 5 wins and 1 second. Max Frick there, the local lad. He's just comes from Mansfield down the road on 15 points. He's 3 adrift. Josh Pickering, even with a second position in the final, settles in a 3rd position on 14 points.
That's a great start to the series for Josh Pickering, isn't it? He probably couldn't have dreamed to be up in the top 3 after round 1 at Curry, even though it's his home track, as we know.
Yeah, well, looking at the competition that he had with him, Brady Kurtz there, another New South Welshman there on 12 points. He went so close to having the perfect round in the 4 wins from 5 starts, and as we've said a couple of times, that mechanical issue, but he still managed to make it through to the top 4. Finished 4th in the seal. Well, he actually crashed out in that final, had to have the rerun.
Then, he just misjudged the entry into turn 1 in the final. He was going to have a go at Rowan. We could see that. He wasn't going to settle for second, was he? But small mistake cost him a few points, and he wasn't the happiest camper after that meeting, that's for sure.
And Jamin Lindsay in 5th position, the lad from Mildura on 11 points. He'll be keen to have a good result here to give a good springboard for him in Mildura in a couple of nights' time.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jamin rode probably above what I would have expected him to ride at Curry as well, and I think that he showed with those inside lines that he was using there that he can turn a bike, and you wouldn't be surprised if he has a good night tonight either. He looked pretty handy in practice actually, Braxy as well.
Yep. And I'll put the clock on him a couple of times, and around 14.5-second lap around here at the moment.
What did I get?
I didn't know. I was too busy getting you coming off, mate. You don't see that too often. But Mason Campton, another local from up there in Curry in New South Wales, he sits in 6th position. And talking to him this afternoon, he wasn't happy with his performance last week. He thought he was going to do a lot better.
I think Mason's had some good meetings at Undera as well, because he's a bit bigger lad. He's very, very strong, and when you've got to muscle the bike around, there's probably not that many around stronger than Mason. You wouldn't.
Oh, he's a big lad.
You wouldn't take his schooner off the bar, would you?
No, not at all. Unless you're putting some money down to pay for it, that's for sure. Jack Holder, the brother of Chris Holder, the 2012 world champion. Jack there probably didn't have the meeting he wanted either last weekend in Curry.
Started off with a tape touch, and it's never ever good to start a race meeting off in that fashion, because it's a you say it's a rookie error. It can happen to anybody at any time, and for it to happen in that race in the championships, not the way to start.
And he had 2 wins there too, so we'd be keen to consolidate them and go on from there. Jordan Stewart, now he looked pretty good in practice too this afternoon. I reckon he could be one if you can get the momentum and get the starts. That's ultra critical. Now in 9th position, Sam Masters, the defending Australian Speedway champion.
Didn't expect that.
No, not to be that far. And we've said it from we said it from his results when he was down there last week, that watch him here in Undera, and I think he will be out there to really punch some noses there tonight. And Matty Gilmore, Happy Gilmore, for a young kid, very good there to get him up there, and he was one of the ones that proved that reputations mean nothing for these guys. He's on 6 points at the moment. Then we've got Rob Medson, Jai Etheridge, Joel Coyne, Cooper Reardon, Declan Knowles, and James Davies, who's taking the place of our injured rider who's out for the weekend, Sedgman.
Yeah,
out for the series actually.
Yeah, this it opens it up a bit actually, because Sedgie's normally pretty good around here as well. But
he won last year around here, and Masters was second. Yeah,
it's actually no surprise that Sam looked hot in practice. We've said that, and it's not really a surprise. His home tracks in the UK, Edinburgh and Wolverhampton. Both tracks are pretty tight, and you have to turn at both of those tracks. So, and
you've really got to start performing well, because it's all back to back, virtually a day off. Mildura on Friday night, which will be a cracker. Then the final round at Gilman in the suburbs of Adelaide on Sunday evening. So great to see 4 really bang, bang, bang intense meetings. And just going by that, Crumpy, with Sam Masters, who will hopefully be talking a lot about tonight at the front of the field, what do you do to put that behind you and get it out of your head? But it's got to be in your head as well, hasn't it?
Oh, Sam won't even be thinking about that now, Braxy. He's, I saw Sam's bikes come into the pits before practice, and definitely one bike has had a service, and the other one didn't even have an engine in it. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's had his engines out, and he's definitely wasn't happy with the way they were performing. To me, he looked slow, and you don't normally have, riders of Sam's caliber don't normally look as off as he does without there being a machine problem somewhere along the line. So he's obviously had some work done, and he's coming here with a whole new, fresh attitude, and he certainly needs to pick it up, because 3 rounds is good. There's a lot of points to make up, and there's a lot of points to lose, but he's 10 or 11 points off Rowan after one, so he certainly needs to get some points in the bag tonight, that's for sure. Yeah, the track now, like the pictures are coming through, the track actually looks pretty damn good, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've done a really good job on it, considering what we were saying about what it was looking like this afternoon, with the heat beating down on it. It was actually 57 degrees at one stage, the heat in it.
Yeah, the track seemed to be holding a lot more temperature than what the ambient was, didn't it? It was it wasn't crazy hot. I think we hit a high of about 32, 33 degrees here today.
Now, here's a graphic example of what we were talking about and what you were pointing out to me this afternoon, with guys looking between outside in the yellow gate all the way into the inside. There was a bit of a no man's land in the middle that you didn't want to be a part of, wasn't there?
The starts, gate 4, the outside certainly got a whole lot more moisture. I guess it must be shaded from the sun when it gets watered, so it's certainly be the choice gate for the first 4 or 5 races without a doubt. But the inside half of gate 1 was looking good, and 2 and 3 weren't terrible, but probably just not up to the amount of grip that 1 and 4 had on them.
It looks like they're having a bit of a joke at the moment, but
it's actually quite good to see. The boys are all they're going to go out and race
fun.
their butts off with each other in 10 minutes or whatever it is. But right now they're having a bit of a joke around. And good to see.
Yeah, we'll see if also we forgot to mention our 2 reserves. Matt Pickering and Ben Cook, they got a run each last week.
No, I think we've got Matt Pickering and Josh Coyne as the other reserve
Josh
tonight.
Coyne.
Darcy Ward. Undera, always an interesting one. Have fun.
Well,
we're going to have fun, Darcy, that's for sure.
It's mate, and good to see Darcy having a look. At all the best to you out there in television land looking at it. And Jay Gallen having another bit of a chat too. Did you pack your fly spray? Yes, we did. We've got the old Bushmans, but it doesn't seem to be having much effect, Jakey boy.
There's plenty of flies down here, Jake. You've obviously been here before, mate. It would have been nice to see you on the track as well tonight.
And who do we think? Well, like we've been saying, is a couple of there, but my pick is that Sam Masters will come through. And closely followed by Max Frick, who finished 3rd here last year as well. And it's great to see. This is, I think, the 6th or 7th time that the Undera track is hosting the round of the Australian Solo Speedway Championship, which is great for the town as well.
Yeah, it generates a lot of interest in the town. We went into a few shops today, Braxy. We had to buy a padlock and a few different bits and pieces for the trailer. And we saw every shop we went into, we saw a poster, and there's a big billboard up in the centre of town. And the club have done a great job. Lecky Milne and the guys down here that run it put a hell of a lot of effort in, like everybody does who runs a speedway track. And hopefully they can get a lot of people in here and reward the club for all their effort.
And here's a bit of a replay of some of the action from last week, just early on in this the day, because the sun is still beating down at a ferocious intensity. That was one of the first leg.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier heats, and
the tape went.
Yeah, here we go. Rowan Tungate and Sam Masters, is it off red and blue? Oh, James Davies hit the tapes. Yeah.
Yep. That was early on in the proceedings.
Yeah. Here we go again. We got
that was the second leg. This is the 3rd heat.
Who was that?
That might have been
Jai
Etheridge, I think. Yeah. But, hopefully they've learnt the nerves are out of their system for this one. And this is a replay.
Here's a replay of the final. Brady Kurtz moving up into 2nd place up the inside of Frick with Tungate in front. This is a moment where Brady Kurtz lost it. He's gone in there pretty hot.
And ran really wide.
Yeah, a lot of grip there and bailed out. He was very lucky actually not to collect Rowan on the way through. But what we also didn't see was Josh the Cowboy Pickering up the inside. Brady just misses there, and Picco's...
He has a bit of a moment there too.
I think we need to give him a new nickname of Cowboy.
And gets
Cowboy
the front wheel
Pickering
off the ground there, trying to get the power down as well.
Yeah. But I got no doubt that we'll be in for some similar sort of action on a tight technical track like we've got here tonight. Looking forward to it, actually. I think we're in for a cracker, I think.
I think we're in for a cracker of a series, actually. This could go down as one of the best in recent years.
Yeah.
There's no one really going to be, at this early stage, we've been saying that no one looks like they're really going to dominate. And it's, I suppose, partly due to the nature of the tracks, like we said about Curry.
Yeah, look, we've got a couple of riders that aren't in the series. Obviously, the World Speedway champion, Jason Doyle's not in the series. He's getting better. Chris Holder's getting himself set up for the season in the UK. The riders that are all in it, though, there's so many of them that are very, very close in calibre, and it's making for exciting racing for us to watch, that's for sure.
Well, over half the field competes in England and Europe during our winter time. And this is a great little training exercise for them as well before they head off and, get a bit of heat into the bones before they head off to the wilds of England where it'll be nice and chilly.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready for heat number 1 and going through the guys that are going to start this. On the inside in the red will be Max Frick. Then beside him in blue will be Jai Etheridge with Declan Knowles in white, and on the outside Sam Masters with the steam coming out of his ears already, ready to put in a good one. And he's really got to get off that line and just go through how critical this start's going to be and where you've got to be on the track to actually get that gate that you need to get the rest of the boys at bay.
I think very early on tonight, Braxy, the racing line's going to be very, very tight around the inside. Such a small track, there's a bit of moisture on the surface as well, so there won't probably be the opportunity for the outside to be working for a little while. But having said all of that, the 4 gate looks pretty much the one that I'd be choosing if I was in race 1, which again is a little bit unusual, but we'll see how we go. Sam Masters is actually off the 4 gate in race 1, so we'll see if what I was thinking was halfway right.
And it'll be a good view here with the camera angle we've got tonight. We'll get a good view if there is any misconduct there with the tapes. But
yep,
there we go.
Won't have to make a fool of myself again.
In red, Max Frick, the local lad. Jai Etheridge there from up there in Curry as well. Declan Knowles in white and Sam Masters, the defending champion, in yellow. Here we go for our first heat of round number 2, and they're off and racing. And it is Masters that gets the gate, leads the way through turn 1 and up the inside. Frick's having a good look at him as well.
Yeah, it's a fantastic start from Sam from gate 4. I kind of half predicted that, the way the track's looking, but Max Frick's riding right around the inside and he's not letting Sam get away. But it could be a little bit, tricky to do anything from behind from the word go, but Sam looks like he's just eking out a slight advantage now over Max.
Yeah, but like you said, Max is right on his tail at the moment. He's that close he wouldn't be getting any of the roost whatsoever. And look at them almost side by side as they come through the corner there to complete another lap. There's the last lap flag coming out.
Jai Etheridge in 3rd place, riding a steady ride. Young Declan Knowles gaining experience with every lap he does.
Yeah, but already we're starting to see the two that, Frick is 2nd in the championship at the moment after his pretty impressive ride last year. But as Masters starts the way he means to continue here, and as you said, he's put everything behind him now so he can go out and now he can concentrate. He's got the first one under the belt. You can't do better than that.
No, it's a great way to start the night, and he's going to come in from that race and have a smile on his face, because he didn't smile very much at Curry the other night. And, if he can enjoy his racing and get a few points on the board, then he's going to be feeling much better about that. This race 2, Braxy, we're up for a bit of a showdown already here, but we've got 3 of the leading point scorers in this race.
Yeah, with Rowan Tungate, Mason Campbell, Joel Coyne and Jack Holder. Rowan Tungate, the leader after his round win last Saturday in Curry. He's in red. Then it is Mason Campton, another Curry boy, in blue. Then it's Joel Coyne in white and Jack Holder there in gate number 4 in the yellow. So Jack Holder would have taken a good bit of confidence boosting out of that one to see the start that Masters got out of that gate.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. Jack will be rubbing his hands together after he saw that.
And then it will be interesting to see again the amount of winners that we get. But last week it was a pretty even spread of wins from all 4 gates.
And it didn't really seem to matter, did it, with the gate positions? The guys were overtaking each other and racing so hard that, it came down to sometimes putting yourself in a better position on the first turn than actually getting there first.
Yeah, and to be able to do the under and over, or the over and under, whichever way you are preferring, as they bring them up. Repeating again, Rowan Tungate in red, Mason Campton in blue, Joel Coyne with the white cap, and Jack Holder on the outside in yellow. Again, a good clean start. And again, the yellow gate comes into the 4 with Holder getting that, grabbing the lead. But I tell you what, he's got 3 of them behind them that are ready to go. That's behind him. It's Tungate in 2nd position.
Yeah, fantastic start again from Jack off the outside. But Rowan's Rowan actually looks a lot smoother and a lot better in this race than he did in practice this afternoon. That's without a doubt. Mason Campton in third place, Joel Coyne at the rear, but the gate positions at the moment seem to be, they're working exactly as we thought. You see Jack Holder there's just drifted out to see if there's any grip in that little bit of dirt that's starting to form out there, and not too sure that there is, because it looked like Rowan made a bit of ground on him then. Rowan's just sticking to the inside and just trying to stay with him.
And it looks like at the moment that from the outside, Holder's got it at the moment as he comes through to get the checkered flag and has a look behind him to see that Tungate is right on his rear wheel. So 2 starts and 2 wins from the yellow gate. So that's quite interesting this early in proceedings. And I'm just trying to pick up who was third on that one. I'm just trying to see who that was. I think that was Mason Campton that came through in third
Mason
position.
was third and Joel Coyne at the rear.
So, well, we had the first 2 races were won last week from the red gate. Now it's into the yellow gate. So we've gone from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, I think things will even themselves up a little bit with the gate positions, but we're not seeing so much overtaking at the moment. But you know, early days. Hopefully the track can kind of get a little bit better as the night goes on.
And we go now, we're rattling through them. This is great stuff. The great thing about Speedway, great spectator sport, great TV sport, because it's bang, 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 one after the other. While they're getting off the track, they're getting ready to go. And the ones that are getting ready to go are Rob Medson in red, Brady Kurtz sitting 4th in the championship in the blue, then Josh Pickering sitting 3rd in the championship in white, and rounding out it, the man for the little youngster from Mildura in yellow, Jamin Lidsey.
Yeah. Well, Jamin's going to be, again, he's going to be pretty happy with the 4 gate at this stage of the night. But you know, you'd expect Brady Kurtz to be able to, you know, challenge him with a start off a certain position, even if it's not quite up to the standard of what 4's producing at the moment.
But they'll all be thinking about that too, because they've got to get off the line and try and block the yellow from gate 4. Heads down, tapes up, away, and from the, gate number 2, that's Kurtz that gets the lead. And down goes Lidsey.
Lidsey's down, and that's not an air fence there, unfortunately. No. He hit that fence with a bit of a wallop. So
the flag, as red flag has come out as the attendants go over to see how Jamin Lidsey is. He took a bit of a whack then, and he fought it all the way down, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Brady Kurtz off gate 2 made a good start, and you could see Brady was just heading for a line, and Jamin was a little bit behind him, and you know, he had to pretty much just keep going, just keep riding. Basically ran out of room and clobbered the fence, but there we go. He's sitting up now and maybe knocked the wind out of his sails a little bit. I think
there would have been a few gasps for breath there, the way he hit the boards.
His mechanic's out to retrieve the bike.
So Lidsey will be out of this one.
Has he been excluded, has he?
Well, I'm just seeing that he's...
okay.
Yeah.
We can see that Brady didn't really do anything wrong, I don't think. I think
he was looking for a bit of
drive. He's, you know... Well, maybe there was a tiny bit of contact, I don't know, but certainly nothing too bad, and, you know, just one of those instances. Ooh. He did hit pretty hard, and the bike kind of followed him in. That
would knock the wind out of you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there counting to 10 to try and get it back.
Yeah. He's up on his feet. Tough fella.
Well, they're all tough fellas when they've been battling the boards all their lives.
I wouldn't have... Well, we'll have to see what the referee makes of that. Possibly an exclusion for him, but first turn of the first race, it's always a difficult one, difficult call.
Yeah, and Lindsay was sitting in fifth position after round number 1 last week. So he's in a good position. But unfortunately, he just went a bit wide, and it was no fault of anyone's. Kurtz was just looking for the racing line on the exit of the turn there to get onto the short back straight, and unfortunately for Jamin Lidsey, he just had nowhere to go.
Sometimes there's, you know, just not enough room left. Braxy, here we go again. Brady Kurtz actually made a flyer off gate 2. And Jamin he hasn't quite made the start, but he's got a really good run into the corner. Right there, Brady's trying to head for the dirt. Jamin's almost past him. Little bit of an off-camber on the exit of turn 2 there, and maybe that's what caught Jamin out more than anything. Maybe not as much dirt as he thought there to hold him up, and a little bit of off-camber, and just enough to spin you around.
Yeah, unfortunately for him. But fortunately, he's all up and ready to go. And we'll just see who does come up. If there's 3 or 4 riders due front for this third leg of the second round of the Australian Speedway Solo Championship here at Undera on the outskirts of Shepparton in northern Victoria. Proudly brought to you by bikesales.com.au. So good to see that the website's getting behind it with Bike Sales coming on board. So I've got 3 of them there at the moment. I'm just seeing if Jamin does make it out. I know he's got a lot of fans down there that'll be hanging on the television at the moment, waiting to see if he's coming out.
Sorry, Braxy, words just come through. I think Jamin's been excluded from the rerun of Heat 3.
That's unfortunate for him, but the 3 remaining, Rob Medson on the inside in red, then it's Brady Kurtz on 11 in the blue, and then Josh Pickering, the third rider, in white. So hopefully we can get through this first 150 metres without any incident. The tapes are up and they're away again. Oh, how close do you want to go on that particular point of the track? And round the outside, or the inside, Kurtz again, but not quite. It is Pickering that's got the move at the moment.
Josh Pickering caught them napping there, didn't he? Neither of Brady or Josh didn't make a great start. Robert Medson off gate 1 made the most of that. Here comes Brady Kurtz up the inside of Josh Pickering.
Oh.
Not a lot of room left there, that's for sure.
Well,
Brady's going to have another go here. No, not quite close enough. Let's see if he can generate some speed and cut back. He's got him. Pico's gone too wide. Fantastic ride from Brady Kurtz. He means business.
But again, Pickering comes back at him.
He's drifted wide, but he's got enough momentum now. He should be all right. We said just before, Braxy, we hadn't had any overtaking, and we've seen Brady overtake a couple of riders, and we can see his determination, and we can see what this championship means to him tonight now.
Well, he's a 2016 champion. He wants to return to the winner's circle. So Kurtz getting that from Pickering in second, and then Medson in third, and Jamin Lindsay excluded from the restart.
Yeah, that was a great race there, wasn't it, between those two, Pico and Brady. You could see Brady was making a lot of speed at different times. He tried the lunge up the inside on Pico into turn 3 on the second lap, I guess it was. And
there wasn't room there, but he certainly made some,
almost made some, didn't he? Yeah, and then once he got in front, he was quick enough to be able to, put a bit of real estate in between them both. But what a start from Rob Medson off gate 1. There's a few of the fellows that we haven't really mentioned too much, Braxy, and it's a shame for them, but it just goes to show you, Brady Kurtz, an Australian international, under-21 world finalist, been in the Speedway Grand Prix, Australian champion, and young Rob Medson can go and jump out of the start. And it took Brady, he had to use a bit of track craft to get past there, didn't he?
He sure did, and he was determined, and as we've said a couple of times already tonight, he won 4 of the 5 heats last week in great form, and he was I think he was actually leading in that middle heat number 3, when that mechanical glitch come and bit him, that forced his retirement from the race. So now in heat number 4, so we're getting around to the last heat of round number 1, and it is Jordan Stewart in red, Matty Happy Gilmore in blue, Cooper Reardon, hopefully he's recovered from his setback last week when his van caught fire, in the white, and James Davies in position number 4 in the yellow.
This is a really open race, this one. All these 4, none of them probably performed to what they would have hoped in round 1, and they're all in it for different reasons, some to gain experience, others to get the result.
And some to beat the better known names. As into the turn we get the red one, that Stewart gets the gate at the moment, but in wide, Cooper Reardon pulls around the outside to take the lead.
Great first turn there by Cooper Reardon. You could see he didn't drift too wide, but here comes Stewie up. No, not quite. Cooper looked like he'd run a little bit wide there on 3 and 4, but he just managed to keep his momentum. Big wheel stand there from Geordie Stewart.
And in third position, we've got Matty Gilmore And rounding out the field there, it's James Davies in the yellow. But leading the way at the moment in white is Cooper Reardon. He's back to his best at the winning circle at the moment. Got a lap and a bit to go.
Geordie Stewart's actually lining him up. He's got a bit of a run going on here.
But he's covering his lines well is Gilmore.
No, here comes Stewart. Oh, that's pretty tight.
He would have made a big move there to go up the inside.
He's got to run here. He's got to run. No, not quite. Oh, that was a good last effort.
So Gilmore wins it.
No, that's Cooper Reardon.
Cooper Reardon, pardon me, from Gilmore in the blue.
No, Jordan Stewart was second. Come on, Braxy.
Oh, get me game together.
You're a bit excited, aren't you?
I was. That was a good good race, that one.
And that's the thing, they didn't manage to overtake, but Jordan Stewart was in behind having a crack all the way, and you know, these young fellas are producing good racing, aren't they?
Oh, great stuff. And like we said last week, the reputation's been nothing for them.
Yeah, and they're all out to beat each other because they've all grown up racing junior speedway together, and it's as much about bragging rights back in the pits or at somebody's barbecue in a couple of weeks' time as it is about the actual points on the board.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too much barbecuing going on tonight when we're halfway through the championship at the end of this round 2.
Probably not. We got the water cart and the grader back out, so maybe we can see a bit more dirt dragged up from the bottom. We know there's dirt on it. We know there's plenty of material there if they want to bring it up, because obviously this morning when I was out there it was all there. Maybe they were just trying to see how fit and game I was to have a go, Braxy.
Well, you had a good go, I tell you that. I got some video of it, but I should have kept the video going for the last lap you did.
I'm glad you did.
You're
on the stills by then, weren't you?
Yeah, I'll just change over. I'll just get one of him. And there we go. A look at the first round. And all we see that our winners are Sam Masters, Jack Holder from yellow. Then in heat number 3, it was Brady Kurtz from in the blue. And taking out the fourth and final heat of round number 1, Cooper Reardon from the white. So 2 yellows, 1 blue and 1 white so far. So so it's quite interesting how that's going to unfold in the next 4 heats as the track gets watered again, and also the Junior Speedway track is getting a bit of a hurry up as well. So that's a nice little appetizer as the sun's just slowly sinking at the moment as we go into twilight.
As soon as the sun sinks, I think I'm hoping that the track comes a bit better. We don't want crazy amounts of dirt on there, Braxy, but just a bit more grip maybe for something to be able to eventuate around the outside maybe. But certainly going, whether it's however the track is, this group of riders that we've got in the championship this year, they're all prepared to have a go, aren't they?
Yeah, I reckon.
You know, we saw Josh Pickering and Brady Kurtz there banging bars, and
well, it'll be interesting to see these guys later on, like you're talking about, the Cooper Reardon, Declan Knowles, Joel Coyne, Jay Etheridge, Rob Medson, who are in the second half of the field, how much they'll improve and get closer to the guys at front that they're, aspiring to beat all the time, but also keeping in mind that the boys at the front have got a lot more experience with them, particularly with racing overseas.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what Darcy Ward said there in that tweet. Could have been all 4 back in Heat 3, but Brady didn't really do anything wrong, did he? And,
no.
You know, Jamin put himself into a position where I guess he almost went down by himself. So, difficult one. If you're the rider in that position, you're always going to be... Well, you're never going to be happy if you're excluded in a situation like that. But unfortunately, if the referee makes that decision, that's the way it rolls.
Yep, and they've got a decision to make. And while we have a bit of a break on the track activities, let's go down to Aidan Williams and see who he's managed to collar in the pits.
Well, how about that for round 1 of action, ladies and gentlemen? Here with a man return to form, Sam Masters. Geez, you've got to be feeling better with that.
Yeah, it was my first win of the series. It's pretty sad for me, really. But, yeah, it was nice to start with a win, and bike's feeling pretty good, so we just got to keep on top of it now. And, yeah, I like this track, so keep it going.
And we only have to throw back a few days ago, and we go back to Kurri Kurri. Very different circuit, a lot faster, but we're talking about those big holes, those big soft sections in the top of the corners. Here, a little bit tighter conditions, but happy with it?
Yeah, it's Curry's a lot of sand in it, and it was breaking up pretty bad at the Aussie title, which wasn't nice. But yeah, they've sorted it out here. There's more clay in the track, it's a lot slicker. But it's good to race on. It's nice for me. I like this type of track, but I usually do all right at Curry, but the other night we had a few dramas, so chin up and we just move on to the next few rounds.
That's racing, though. You took the whole shot there from the outside gate. Where's it going to form up here? We're obviously seeing that hard pack line through the inside.
Yeah, it's I don't really know. Hopefully it makes a bit of dirt and we can use it so it's just not all from the start. But yeah, I had a good gate from gate 4. That was pretty nice. I've got it again later in the meeting, so hopefully it stays good and for that. But I've got the other 3 gates to worry about now, and yeah, hopefully I can pop them off then.
Well, maximum points. Congratulations.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks.
We're catching up with Sam Masters later on.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't even think he really was in the mood to talk at Curry, was
No.
he? And then all of a sudden he pops out and wins heat 1, and, you know, hard race to win. To beat Max Frick around here takes a bit of doing, and he's popped out, won his first race of the series in round 2, and I would
That'd
say
be the first for him too, wouldn't it?
I would say that's Sam back on form now for the remaining 3 rounds.
No, it's going to be good. You know, he knows how to win. He's a champion. And as you said, he's probably put that behind him as he was leaving the Curry Speedway last week and just regrouping, knowing, okay, that's my bad round for the year.
Yeah.
Onward and upward.
Yeah, and as we touched on, he's obviously mechanically he wasn't happy after Curry, so the engines have been out, the engines have been checked over, you know.
Well, just when you mentioned that too, Crumpy, the engine's been out, what the conditions being so hot. You know, we talk about the athletes being hot and getting all hot under the collar, but the engines, they were air-cooled engines. There was no breeze up there at Curry whatsoever. It was 42, 43 degrees in the shade, let alone the temperature that was coming off the track to make those bikes. Well, did it have any effect on the performance of the bikes, you reckon?
Probably knocks a little bit of the power out, but the thing with it is, Braxy, is that if it's knocking power out of one rider's engines with the heat, then it's going to equalise across the board.
Yeah, but then also you've got you're setting your ignition and also your gearing and your jetting as well. So it could be, just one little jetting mishap could change the colour of your day as well.
Oh, there's no doubt. It's always possible for that to happen. But I genuinely probably don't think it was probably something to do with the way Sam set his bike up. I think there was possibly an issue with a component or something like that's needed replacing or something. So certainly looked quick in the first race.
So while the guys are still doing some maintenance on the track, we'll have a break from round 2 of the 2018 Australian Speedway Championships here at Undera and come back with more action very shortly.
For all your backyard maintenance, the Honda Lawn and Garden range is as powerful as it is reliable. Quick starting, get the 4-stroke advantage. Thanks to advanced 4-stroke technology. Ultra quiet, compact and lightweight equipment that offers industry-leading fuel efficiency with no mixing necessary. That's 4-stroke quality you can rely on. Available at your specialist Honda dealer.
Our business is making dreams come true. Since 2002, we've realised over 100,000 Yamaha dreams and financed more than 150,000 motorcycling passions. We've helped turn the smallest dreams and the largest dreams into reality. Are you ready to make your dream a reality?
If you take any given impact and stretch it over more time, you're basically going to reduce the severity of that impact. That's what our ODS technology does within the helmet.
Well, that does wrap up round one. Here alongside JC, Crumpy, the track is starting to form up. I'll give you the mic. You just want to run us through what it's doing.
Yeah, as we saw in the first round of 4 heats, the track actually started to seal over a little bit and go very, very slippery and hard packed. We've just had some water and a little bit of grading done to the track, and as we can see now, there are little bits of dirt starting to come up. This is a line basically where they've all been riding in the first few races, and then Brady Kurtz, I think, moved up to around about this part of the track, and Cooper Reardon also moved up to this part of the track. But young Cooper Reardon, when he moved up, Geordie Stewart came back to the inside and actually ended up making a little bit of ground up on him. What the riders are trying to do is they're trying to find a line somewhere up around this point where there's a bit more grip available, so they can make the corner not quite as sharp, open it up a bit more and keep a bit more speed flowing through the exit of the corner and onto the main straight. Once the sun does actually set properly and we're able to get the moisture to stay into the track, I think we'll be in for probably a track that develops more than one racing line, as we saw early on.
We did see the one line early on, but what I'm excited to see is the mix-up of riders that we've already seen take wins. We said it's possible for any rider to take a win here. We expect a different one in every round. Masters went out there, super great form. We're seeing a lot of these guys struggling maybe at Curry. The hard pack conditions really opening them up.
Yeah, possibly that, Aidan, but I would think probably in Masters' case, Braxy and I were talking about it, maybe some engine problems at Curry. I think he's definitely come here. The bikes were brought into the pits without the engines when they arrived today, so they've had some servicing work done, no doubt. We did have a couple of good races. I mean, Brady Kurtz, young Robert Medson jumped out of gate one in the race with Brady and Josh Pickering, and Brady found himself at the back behind both of them and muscled his way through and showed that you can get good racing, good hard racing on a tight track, and again, showed Brady Kurtz's intent to getting to the final at the end of tonight.
As we're starting to see this inside, it really is forming up hard. Is that outside line going to become an option, or are we thinking that's going to be later tonight?
Possibly in another round or so. I would love to see the outside come in, because at the moment we're middling. You know, it's almost difficult to decide where to go if you're behind somebody. But if we can get a line starting to form a little bit wider, and also the inside stays okay, we can have a 2-line track, and then we'll get some good racing. I'll tell you one thing. The flies like it down here as much as the crowd.
They like it as much as you like sampling the soil out here. We're going to go back. The riders are lining up.
From 9 to under 16. Some great little demos there. And must mention Riley Plum, Michael Codgan, Julian Bond, James Crundwell and William Grost are the kids that are out there. You can see there on the wide angle shot of them zipping around the junior speedway track, and what a great experience for these kids. And this is where it all starts, and where there's some really little young tackers there running around up against some older kids. But this is where they get to slide. Oh, they're getting a bit out of shape there in the background, and well, you'll learn not to do that by cutting both wheels inside the chalk. But, and he's put it down as well. So that's a a good little start. I'm sure the crowd will give him a bit of a round of applause for his little bit of over-trying. But it's great to see these kids getting up there and just learning it. And I'll tell you what, they'll probably put a few older kids to shame, namely myself and a few others around here at being able to slide the bike, and just their bike control there as a checkered flag comes out for their little bit of a hoedown and a showdown. But great stuff by the youngsters to get out there and, well, that brings back a few memories for you too, Crumpy, doesn't it? Because where you started with the 125s all those years ago.
It's where it all starts, Braxy. It starts with 9, 10, 11-year-old kids on 125 Hondas in a cut-down Speedway chassis, and the list of riders that Junior Speedway's produced that have gone on to race at World Championship level is pretty unbelievable when you think about it.
When you're going through those junior ranks, did you ever begin to think that, geez, I'm not bad at this?
Personally, not. When you're 12, 13, 14, you ride a motorbike because it's fun to do, and it is fun to do, and it's why we all start doing it, and it's why we all end up trying to make it as a professional, and it's fun, and you learn things from Junior Speedway that you carry with you all the way through your career, and it's like any kid's sport, whether it's footy or cricket or whatever. It's a great junior sport for kids to get into.
And being in the country is also a good help, because a lot of the kids grow up in the rural areas, out of town on the farms and everything. And I know for a fact that a lot of them, soon as school's finished, straight home on the bike before the homework gets done.
That's absolutely right. That's the way it was for a lot of us. But we're back into the main program now and back into the action.
Yeah, round number 2, and this will be heat number 5. And they'll be coming out ready. And, I reckon just we've got about another half an hour before it gets complete, for an hour, 45 minutes before it's completely dark. 10 past 8 here in northern Victoria at Undera for the second round of the Australian Speedway Solo Championships, round number 2. And heat number 5 in round 2 of the race, we've got James Davies in red. And then Max Frick in blue next to him in gate number 2. They're on Rowan Tungate in white, and Josh Pickering in yellow on the outside. And what a lineup. I tell you what, James Davies, he might get a bit of a riding exhibition and education here with those 3 beside him.
3 of our 4 finalists from Curry in Heat 5.
So just going through again on the inside with the red, we've got James Davies. All important for him to get a good jump out of the gate. Max Frick, who won his race this earlier on. In blue, then it's Rowan Tungate, who was second in his leg on white, and Josh Pickering, who was also second in yellow on the outside. So this is all their second round of racing.
They've just done a bit of maintenance on the track as well. It'll be interesting to see what that's done to the surface. Looked a little bit slippery in spots.
Gates up, and again they're away, and who gets the inside line? It is Tungate in white, gets the jump. But right behind him in the yellow is Pickering. These two were at Hammer and Tongs last week in Curry, and they're going to continue their little stoush again.
Max Frick, surprisingly, in 3rd place, didn't go anywhere off the start. Josh Pickering's actually putting Rowan Tungate under a bit of pressure, and Rowan's... No.
Whoa! I'm not saying anything about that one there with Josh Pickering.
Like the back wheel might have been over the inside line there for Pico.
We'll see what the referee has to say about that. Oh, Tungate gets a bit out of shape on the exit there too. Do
you know what, Braxy? I said it before. Rowan's going fast. There's no doubt. He's leading races, but he doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't like this style of track, but he's really putting some effort in. And Josh Pickering behind him, that's a much better corner there from Rowan. But
he had a quick look behind him.
Young Pico, he's got a very, very tight entry to that corner, and Max Frick surprisingly back in 3rd place.
Yeah, that's unusual for him.
We might have to hide that footage from the referee. I wonder if Max Frick actually saw how tight Pico's entry was. I think Frick might be... Is he going to go and have a look at that? No,
well,
straight back to the pits.
No, okay. That's surprising.
I wonder if we can get some sort of angle on that inside curb there on the way into turn 3. It'd definitely be interesting to see if that's broken.
So, yeah, he went well. He went very close to crossing the line of no comebacks. But there doesn't seem to be anything being said at the moment. The starters are ready to greet the next lot of riders from heat number 6. They're coming out now.
Yeah.
So on that one, Rowan Tungate, a 1st and a 2nd so far out of his 2 heats. Pickering with 2 seconds. And Max Frick with a win and a 3rd. Sorry, a second and a third, pardon me. So here's heat number 6. And in red lining up there already, we've got Matty Happy Gilmore, wearing bib number 14 for the night. Then we've got Rob Menson in the blue on bib number 10. And then next to him, Jai Etheridge in the white cap on bib number 2, and Joel Coyne in yellow.
This is an open race. I'll tell you, if Robert Medson makes a start like he did in his first race, he'll be hard to beat in this one.
Yeah, well, in the first one, he got a 3rd position, so he'll be able to improve on that, no doubt.
He actually outstarted Brady Kurtz and Josh Pickering, though.
He did, yep. So the nerves, concentration, away. Again, who gets it inside? It's on the red. That was Gilmore that gets a good line, but round the outside in white is Jai Etheridge.
Yeah, great first turn from Jai. Just kept his corner speed up there, didn't turn so much as what Matty Gilmore did round the inside, and laced around him.
And there in Coyne there in 3rd position, trying to give a bit of a hurry up to Gilmore in red. But while this is happening, Etheridge from Curry is giving a good clean pair of, almost clean pair of heels with the dirt flying out the back of the bike.
Yeah, actually, Jai looks really smooth, and it's good for his. It'll be great for his confidence as well to get a race when he didn't have a great night at Curry. He's a fast rider, Jai Etheridge.
He's done a lot of work on his engines last week. I'll go into that in a minute after talking to him this afternoon, as he goes through after getting the last lap flag. So he looks like he's got this one pretty well in the bag as Jai Etheridge.
Yeah, he looks really good. He looks good, and he's put a gap between himself and Matt Gilmore, enough of a gap that he's able to move out a little bit and use that little bit of dirt. Great ride from Reggie.
And that's his first win of the championship. So great stuff by him to take it out. And Joel Coyne not doing quite enough and still coming down at the back of the field.
Yeah, we've been over it before. It's, the riders are in the championships for a different reason. Some of them, Braxy, aren't they? Young Joel Coyne and Robert Medson are looking to gain some experience and just trying to find their feet at a high level of Speedway.
Well, just going back to Jai Etheridge, talking to him this afternoon, he had he had to use his spare bike last week because
threw a chain, didn't he, in practice,
broke the number 1 bike, and he said I was expecting to do a lot better last weekend than I did. It was my home track, and now I've got all that sorted. Hopefully we won't have any mechanical issues, and I can go out there and do what I know I can do. And he's done that pretty well already. Well, out of 2 legs, he's broken through for his first win of the 2018 championship. As we move on now to heat number 7 of round number 2 of this night, with Brady Kurtz on the inside in red with bib number 11, Jordan Stewart in blue, Mason Campton in white, and on the outside Declan Knowles in the yellow. So Brady. We still haven't had a winner from yes, we've had Brady Kurtz is the only one that's come out from the blue to take a win so far tonight.
He didn't make the start there, Braxy, did he? He had to do his work from the back to get that race win, so yeah.
But
he looked good in his first ride, Brady. You have to say he came past a few of the guys, and it wasn't easy to overtake. And Gate 1 this time. He's got to be looking for a win here, that's for sure.
Yeah, I reckon he will be as well.
He's pulled down very, very low on the inside of Gate 1. I pointed that out to you before.
So who gets it? It is Kurtz that gets the run in there from the red gate. Oh, in second, that was a big slide from Stewart. Lucky to hang on to it, and he's got Campton right behind him.
Brady Kurtz is away with this one. Great start from the inside of Gate 1. How's that camera view?
Great angle. Leave that one on, guys. Yeah. That's awesome.
Jordan Stewart's, he's fighting the bike. He's muscling it around. And Mason Campton in 3rd place behind him there. He's trying all the tricks in the book up the inside, but just can't quite get there.
Well, it looked like Stewart had missed a bit of his run going into that last turn, which allowed Campton to move up at him. But look at Kurtz.
I'll tell you what's interesting. Brady Kurtz has moved out. He's riding on the top of the banking, and he's trying to use that bit of dirt that's out there, and he's going faster and faster every lap. You can see the line, there with the back tyre, Brax. He's right on the edge of that dirt.
He's hunting it, really, isn't he? Getting right out there, feet on the peg.
Making his intentions clear. Good ride.
So Kurtz takes that one. So he's, like we said, he had 4 wins and was on track to take 5 out of 5 last week, but didn't quite do it.
I'm going to pull you up again, Braxy, on that one. I think he was in 3rd place when that electrical wire broke, and I wouldn't be surprised if it actually got hit
Started
by a stone.
At the start.
No, I think it might have got hit by a stone when he was through the corner. But he told me that it must have been hit by a stone because his mechanical works too good for it to have been a mistake by him.
But yeah, except for that, he could have been on equal points with Rowan Tungate after that round, because Tungate only dropped 1 point in that 5 heats.
And who did he drop his point to?
Kurtz. Exactly. See, I even remember that one.
Couple of race winners here in this one.
Yeah, Sam Masters in red. He's gone from the outside to the inside. Jack Holer beside him in blue. Jamin Lidsey in white. His heats, yes, he is there. And Cooper Reardon in yellow.
3 race winners in this race. This is a pretty loaded heat for early on in the night.
And it'll be good to see if how Jamin Lidsey's come out after that knock he took earlier on. Can't see it slowing him down too much.
Cooper Reardon looked good in his first ride, and he's got the favoured 4 gate, but we haven't actually had a winner from the 4 gate in this round, have we? Maybe they've evened up a bit. The advantages shifted away
We've
from
had
4 a little bit.
2 white gates actually,
yeah,
and a red.
Yep. Well, there we go. Sam Masters is down tight on the inside of gate 1, not quite as tight as Brady Kurtz was, but.
Great angle from the front line here, and Masters goes straight into the lead there and pushes.
He's drifted up.
Jack Holder out.
Oh, he has. Too wide, but no, he's got the speed on the back straight to chop Jack's nose off.
So Holder in second position at the moment from Lidsey, then Reardon there in 4th position. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 that goes the way the gates line up.
Sam Masters is actually riding a really similar line to what Brady Kurtz was riding. He's using the outside, the banking and the little bit of dirt that's there, and Jack Holder's not making anything on him at all. No. Jack's boys moved up a little bit there and trying to follow him. Jamin Lidsey in 3rd.
I've got a feeling that if anyone gets near Sam Masters tonight, he's going to throw a brick at him, because he's going to say it's going to be his. He wants it to be his night.
Don't underestimate Brady Kurtz at the moment, Braxy, and I think he looks smooth. And if Rowan Tungate can continue to keep going the way he is, he'll be a challenger as well. But great run from Sam there. Won the first one from gate 4 and then dropped down to gate 1 and made it look easy again.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when Masters and Kurtz come up.
Race number 20.
Yep, the last, that's right, we were looking at that.
Tungate's in that race as well.
We were looking at that before. That's going to be an absolute cracker.
Wraps up round 2.
So we're belting through these races. The great thing about Speedway action, 4 laps all done in about a minute. And you couldn't get much more of an adrenaline rush if you tried in a minute, could you?
Not really. one of the reasons why I kept doing it for as long as I did. I still had an adrenaline rush today, Braxy. I think we're giving our track reserves Matt Pickering and Josh Coyne a run out in this race.
Well, it's good to see, and they actually came out for a practice as well. They gave them a bit of track time.
Interesting point. Josh Coyne and Joel Coyne come from very, very similar parts of Queensland, but not related at all. Okay. Just good mates. Travel a bit around the country together to a few Speedway meetings. But we've got Matt Pickering on the inside, 17, and Josh Coyne on the outside, number 18.
Having a bit of, this has helped decide if...
sorry, Braxy. Matt Pickering's a cousin of Josh Pickering.
Yeah, cousin. I thought, yeah. Well, they're from the same district.
Yeah, they're both Curry boys. Josh Coyne out in front, looking pretty smooth. Coyne is a pretty handy rider, and a little track like this is his forte. Spends a bit of time in Denmark doing a bit of Speedway in our winter time, and probably understands he's not going to get to the highest level of the sport, but enjoys his racing, works very hard to pay for his hobby, and enjoys travelling overseas to do a bit of amateur racing in Denmark.
Well, you can't really complain about...
Matt
getting
Pickering's
close.
having a go, actually, here, isn't he?
Was there a bit of a tag coming out of that turn 3?
I hope not. This would definitely be the smallest track that Matt Pickering's ever seen, that's for sure. He put in a stellar performance in the Queensland Championships at Maryborough.
But looking at that sliding there, and as I pointed out to you before, Crumpy, that looks like coming onto that last turn, they're almost going backwards as they're trying to get drive as they throw it through the corner.
Yeah, it's almost, you almost lead into the corner with the back wheel to keep yourself from drifting too far out. The corner entry speed here is really, really high, and you know you've got to do what you've got to do to get it around.
So there's another, as we go, round number 2. And you can start to see that Masters has got 2 wins under the belt already. So Brady Kurtz, 2 wins under the belt. So they'll be leading there with 6 points. And then just behind them, we've got Jack Holder with 5 points. And where's our man from last week, Rowan Tungate? He's got 5 points as well. So they're starting, and that's the top 4 riders there.
Yeah, Geordie Stewart on 4. Max Frick's, Jai Etheridge on 4 as well. Max Frick's a little bit of a surprise there on 3. He's had a second and a third position. He would have probably been expecting a bit more than that from his first 2 races, I would think.
Yeah, that's very much so. But, well, it's just Sam Masters is back to his best. And Brady Kurtz has continued that. He won these first 2 heats last week at Curry.
Yeah, Brady and Sam at the moment. Rowan, there's a few. They're all having a go, I suppose, but they're the standouts right as we speak. And a guy like Jai Etheridge pops out at the start, and he looks as good as anyone, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I'll tell you one who won't be too happy with himself at the moment, Max Frick with only 3 points.
Yeah, big surprise actually.
Yeah.
Big surprise that he had gate 1 in the first race. And
so, but Josh Pickering, he could be just one that's bubbling under the surface.
Well, he told us outright, didn't he, at Curry, the reputations don't mean anything to him. I think his nickname needs to be either Cowboy or Bronco. I'm not sure which one, but.
So the top 4, Kurtz and Masters unbeaten, hotly pursued by
Good work, Al. Yeah, I wish I didn't have a practice, mate. Track was nothing like it is now. That's for sure.
So they're out in the tractor again and the water.
Yeah,
Lucky they got a dam just over the back there that they can fill up pretty quickly with.
It's actually a bit of a surprise, Braxy, because I thought this water would be soaking in a little bit more by now to break, well, not break it up very much, but just maybe generate a little bit more dirt.
Yeah, we tried to swap them flies, Roger, but they're just a bit quicker than we are at the moment, even with the copious amounts of Bushmans on the high potency one as well. But it's great to see all these people that have in Twitter sphere coming in and putting a few notes on. So just remember your hashtag 2018 Speedway Oz AUS. And tell us what you think, and even throw a few questions at Crumpy and let him, explain a bit of his expertise.
If I can. I thought I lost a bit of credibility today, Braxy, when I did what I did.
Oh, mate, they've only got 2 wheels. They're going to fall over sooner or later. That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah. Oh well. If you can't laugh at yourself, you got a bit of trouble.
You're not allowed to laugh at anybody else.
There you go then.
Yep.
So I'm quite happy to laugh at myself for that.
And I've been doing that for a number of years. Not laughing at you, but laughing at myself.
Probably been laughing at me as well, Braxy.
Nah,
you can
mate.
admit that.
But it is great here at, approaching the halfway distance of this 4-round championship. You just start to get into the swing of things and it'll be all over.
Yeah,
I think we should have a few more rounds.
I think it's great because the first round we had a bit of a break after it. Now we're bang, 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 and from a rider's point of view, although there's a bit of travelling involved, it's not crazy distance, and these guys are used to backing it up day after day after day. So the riding side of it won't be a problem for them, and they're probably looking forward to actually getting back into a bit of a rhythm of racing.
Yeah, it would be. And what does it do to just do this in the off break? Because when they're all going back, well, half of them are going back to England and Europe, their opposition won't be as much fit because of the conditions over there, unless you're going and doing a bit of ice racing to get yourself a bit of form.
Yeah, no, I know. Though sometimes, Braxy, I mean, I was one of the guys that didn't really race very much in Aussie through the course of my career. I always looked upon it as the opportunity to have a bit of a break. I mean, you go from racing 4 or 5 days a week, you need to have a rest at some time.
Yeah, well, we'll have a rest up here in the commentary box and go down and have a chat with Aidan, who's got Rowan Tungate with him.
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Round 2 of racing is in the books. Here with the round 1 winner, Rowan Tungate. Gone out there taking the win in that one. Feeling good?
Yeah, really good. I felt better then, and this hasn't been my best track, but I had a bit of bad luck last year with it, but no, I'm feeling good now. There's no reason why I can't do the opposite of what I had done before. But no, I feel really good. I've just got to keep consistent and yeah, get the job done.
When you say the opposite of what you've done before, obviously you're talking about if there was a track that Rowan Tungate didn't like in this championship calendar, would this probably be it?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just I've never really performed the best here. Yeah, I've never got off to a good start, but today I feel good. I've got off to a good start, so I'm making good starts, and yeah, we just got to keep consistent and keep going.
Obviously, next question I want to ask, the track, how's it forming up? We're seeing a bit of water and a bit of grading going into it now. How have you found it?
Yeah, it's really good. The starts are always slick here, so you got to find a good setup for the start, and away you go. But no, the track's really nice today, and they've done a good job. At times it's been tough other years, but today it's really good.
Obviously, you came out of Curry with the points lead, a fairly happy points lead. Not much time for celebrating, though, this turnaround. What are you doing the couple of days to get ready to go again?
We've just been preparing the bikes and getting everything ready, and obviously training in the other time. So, yeah, you just got to keep busy, and yeah, it's not over till the fat lady sings, so you just got to keep picking away and stay cool.
I will hopefully see you out there in the final when the fat lady is singing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rowan Tungate.
Philosophical with that. Not too critical about the track, but he just, like he said, he doesn't seem to gel with this the way he does with other ones. But with the first and the second, he's not doing too bad if he's not gelling with it.
Well, I mean, he's got some points on the board, but it's easy from a rider's point of view to understand it. I saw Rowan ride in practice today, and he wasn't going around the track slow, Braxy, by any stretch of the imagination, but he didn't look comfortable. And again, in the first race, you could see him slightly overlocking at different points and changing what he was doing, but as the night goes on and he can get things worked out a little bit more, if he's in the right frame of mind, I'm sure he'll be happy, and he'll get better and better and better as it goes on, because he's never been Australian champion before and he wants to win.
Yeah, well, it's interesting too that he's a four times Australian dirt track champion as well.
Yeah.
So it's not as if he hasn't had it, but there is a bit of difference mainly with the bikes more than anything with what you are competing on.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he can do.
Robert Marm says, does the track remind you of Armidale, Jason Crum? I don't actually know if I've been to Armidale, and I think that's Edinburgh, if I'm correct. It's a long time since I've been to any of those tracks in I guess they're Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow and those places up there, but not really. It doesn't remind me of anywhere, this place. It's a unique track, and certainly a bit different, and as you can understand when you have guys like Rowan Tungate saying it's a tricky track to ride.
Well, just turning up here, you didn't tell me too much about it before we came down here, but you said just wait till you see the layout. And
no, you said to me, don't tell me the differences, I'll see if I can spot them.
Well, it was pretty obvious, like the nose on my face, to tell you the truth. You didn't need to be an Einstein to work that out.
No.
But yeah, it is... well, thanks, Brett Collins. It's always good. Yeah, Frumpy is the best rider I've ever seen. Keep it up, guys. Thanks very much, guys. We appreciate all the feedback. Now you've got to get the yin and the yang, so there'll be another one come back with the bit of brickbats instead of the accolades. But no, we enjoyed bringing it to you, and great to see some of the best riders in Australia that have coming out to here, and they come back from England and Europe, and managed to get a bit of training in and take that very coveted Australian Speedway Championship title. And while they're still finishing doing a bit of track maintenance, we might take a break here at round 2 of the Australian Speedway Championship and come back with more action on at Undera on NRG TV. Back soon.
You can jump in waterfalls, surf on them waves. You can walk around mountains for days and days. It's a hard old life that someone's gotta do. Oh, there's a lot to like about this view.
Come to life on the Sunshine Coast. Visit sunshinecoast.com.
For all your backyard maintenance, the Honda Lawn and Garden range is as powerful as it is reliable. Quick starting, get the 4-stroke advantage. Thanks to advanced 4-stroke technology. Ultra quiet, compact and lightweight equipment that offers industry-leading fuel efficiency with no mixing necessary. That's 4-stroke quality you can rely on. Available at your specialist Honda dealer.
Our business is making dreams come true. Since 2002, we've realised over 100,000 Yamaha dreams and financed more than 150,000 motorcycling passions. We've helped turn the smallest dreams and the largest dreams into reality. Are you ready to make your dream a reality?
Well, welcome back to round 2 of the 2018 Australian Speedway Solo Championships here at Undera, just out of Shepparton in northeastern Victoria, or just northern Victoria is probably a better way of putting it, as we move on to round number 3 of the 5 rounds of this evening's proceedings. And Crumping, we've got the 2 most recent Australian champions leading the way at the moment, Sam Masters and Brady Kurtz, as we get ready for the next lot of heats, with Brady Kurtz out on this one in yellow on the outside, but on the inside we've got Joel Coyne in red, then in Cooper Reardon in blue. Max Frick, he'd be looking for a big win. He has a second and a third so far in his 2 races. He won't be very happy, that boy.
He needs a race win, Max.
And Brady Kurtz on the outside. So in the last round, we saw Red took out 2 races, and White took out 2 as well. So the middle was, Red in the middle was coming to its 4.
I think that goes out the window right now, Braxy.
Yep.
They've just done the track again, and it's a fresh surface. We'll see if there's anything left on the top side of the track on gate 4, or if Max Frick can make gate 3 or work for him. But,
and just repeating on the inside in red in bib number 6, it's Joel Coyne. Then in the blue on bib number 16, Cooper Reardon, and then Max Frick in number 1 with the white. And in the yellow, Brady Kurtz on 11 as they jump the start. Who's got it?
Kurtz.
Oh, Kurtz is in there as well, but Frick's right behind him. Oh! Wow, that was Coyne that went very close to a high side, trying to pull himself up.
Oh, he's down.
Now.
That's a high side.
That was Reardon there with him tagged him. And tell you what, Joel Coyne has knocked the wind out of him. Well, is that going back to where he lost a bit of his momentum in the previous corner when he was trying to play catch-up? You know, when he had a bit of a moment there, maybe I'm just surmising here at the moment, mate, as they were getting into the racing groove.
I'm not really sure. I didn't quite see what happened. I was paying more attention to the guys at the front. We'll watch a restart of the race here and see if we can make it. But one thing for sure, Brady Kurtz made a cracker on 4.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still some material up there. He was gone. When they've just done the track like this, I think possibly Joel Coyne may have overlooked a little bit, but we'll be able to see in a second when we get to the point. But we'll watch Kurtz off gate 4. He makes a cracker. He's away. Frick goes with him. They've gone right to the inside. Coyne's locked up. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide there. Reardon's got a run on him up the inside of the straight. We've gotten out of shot a bit there, and then all of us, oh, wow, yeah, Reardon's front, rear wheels hit Coyne on the front wheel. He's lucky that bike didn't come in and get him as well there, wasn't he? Look at that. That's a different way to watch a speedway crash, isn't it? But yeah, you can just see the rear wheel taps Coyne on the front wheel.
Mate, he was lucky he was able to turn himself around there too, because he face planted pretty hard.
Yeah, right there you can see Coyne's locked up on his line. Reardon's on his line. He's slipping up. The track's a little bit wet. Reardon's probably slipping up to him towards a darker dirt line.
He's going, what are you doing?
Yeah, and at that point, Joel Coyne's in a world of trouble, and bang, hits the ground face first, and very lucky that the bike didn't follow him into the fence.
I think he did get a bit of a whack on the head with the front wheel there as it came down on top of him, because he just seemed to pull himself out from underneath it.
Possibly. Our series referee, Gavin Wilson's got a bit of a decision to make here. He's excluded the rider in red. That is Joel Coyne, isn't it? Yeah, he's excluded Joel Coyne. No, he hasn't. Joel's out. Fuck it. Is that it? Oh, no, he's excluded the rider in blue. The blue light's on. That's Cooper Reardon.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell.
Sorry about
that. The daylight's still playing a bit around.
Because
I actually thought all those 3 were on as well.
Sorry about that. But interesting here, Brady Kurtz will be spewing about that, wouldn't he? Because he's made a blinder off gate 4 and he's got to go and do it all again with Max Frick on the inside of him.
Yeah, and there's you've got a few extra metres to travel to get to that line, haven't you?
Well, you do have, Braxy, but the compensation for that is you actually get to the corner going a bit quicker because you've gone that little bit further, so you've built your momentum up a bit more. Joel Coyne's jumped up and dusted himself off. He hasn't had long, has he, to get back up and get back out there. He's obviously on the spare bike. On the spare bike there.
So just going through it as we see there. We've just jumped up a bit. We're on heat number 9. We've got Joel Coyne there in red, Cooper Reardon, who's not there, in blue, Max Frick and Brady Kurtz. Can he do this from the outside again in yellow?
No, he can't.
Frick gets it there. Gets the
Brady's
gate.
Back up the inside. Elbows there.
Geez, he's squeezing the toothpaste tube there to find a bit of room.
Well, again, Max Frick's turned back across the inside as Brady gone a bit. Frick picked up slightly there, just lost his run.
Yeah, well, that's you don't want that to be happening. But look again, I tell you what, Kurtz has run it a bit wide. No, but he still gets that line.
He's looking for that.
As you've said,
he's looking for that little bit of dirt on the edge of the camber there, Braxy, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Frick was just caught there a little bit in the wrong place. But aggressive move by Brady there for sure, and it again shows his intent with this meeting. And Max Frick wasn't quite in a position enough to dictate there, and Brady's stormed through.
And Frick will be very dirty at himself for the fact that he got a good jump off the line and couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, but also Max will be dark on himself because off turn 4 on the first lap, he was actually in a position and picked up and lost his momentum.
So there goes Kurtz. That's 3 from 3.
Yeah.
He's in fine form at the moment.
They're okay with each other. Good to see. They raced hard, didn't they? That was a hard race, but there was enough room there. A little bit of contact onto the back straight, but Brady Kurtz is showing his an aggressive side of him that we've spoken about it actually before. And
he was like that last week though. He didn't, he was on the button from the get-go, and maybe he didn't get out of the gates in every race, but he fought himself through, as he did, as you pointed out, in that second leg tonight, where the first leg he was in tonight, didn't get the start, but his determination and get the right line through that track to make sure that he got into the lead. But man, we're not even halfway through the night's proceedings, and we've got plenty of drama happening here at Undera.
And it's great to see the riders able to shake hands after the race, and give each other a pat in the back. That's what it's all about, isn't
as
it?
you said, these guys have been racing against each other since they were knee-high to a side stand. As we go into heat number 10, in red we've got Jamin Lidsey, then Rowan Tungate beside him in blue, Jordan Stewart in white, and Jai Etheridge in yellow. So Jai Etheridge won the last time out. Rowan Tungate not quite there at the moment. He's had a win in a second position.
Well, that's not a bad place to be in Braxy.
Exactly. But and Jai Etheridge will say he'll take confidence out of this because he's on the outside in the yellow, and he's seen that Kurtz has done it again.
Yeah, Geordie Stewart's had 2 solid second places as well, Braxy. The guy we haven't seen his true form tonight so far is Jamin Lidsey.
Yeah, well, he's probably, when he had the wind knocked out of his sails in that first leg. A racing again in heat number 10. And he got a good drive, but he's been shuffled backwards there. And taken out his Tungate in the blue. And look at Pickering's been shuffled right back.
No Pickering.
Sorry,
Etheridge.
Etheridge.
Yeah. Rowan Tungate's out in front. We didn't think it was a Rowan Tungate. Jamin Lidsey done the donut. He saved that too. That first race spills really knocked him for 6, hasn't it? He doesn't look happy at all. I actually thought before the night tonight that Jamin could really shine on this track. Jai Etheridge in 3rd place behind Geordie Stewart's having a look there, but Rowan Tungate out front, sailing away with it.
Yeah, while all the rest have been fighting over the scraps, Tungate's been able to just put the hammer down.
He's in trouble there.
What was all that about,
I was just going to say Rowan entered that corner a bit easier than he did the lap before, and that's how quickly a Speedway bike can cause you problems.
Wow, talk about a bit of bite.
And saw what he did there, and I was thinking what I was going to say. I was thinking to myself, he's gaining in confidence, and here we can see just a little bit more off the throttle there, Rowan, and he's a little bit less wheel spin, just enough to pick up. And he's lucky he got that down when he did, because he's clipped that little windrow of dirt before the fence. That's what saved him there.
Almost use that as a berm to bring him back in line.
Head just lifted and offline, boom, off there. But he got it back under control.
So am I right in saying that was Tungate 1, that was Stewart 2nd and Etheridge 3rd in that one?
Yeah.
And Lidsey unfortunately spinning himself around.
He kept it going though.
Yeah, well, that's to do a 360. You might have an extra life as a stunt rider later on.
Yeah.
But now we move into heat number 11. Round number 3, we've got Jack Holder in red, Josh Pickering in, I can get his name right.
Bronco Josh.
And then Declan Knowles and Matty Gilmore. Now, these two, you'd think it's going to be between Holder and Pickering, but don't discount Gilmore. Knowles is one of the ones that's learning his craft, but they're...
Well, Pico burnt Holder off in the B final at Curry the other night to transfer, didn't he? So, they're both, Jack Holder's on 5 and Pico, I think, is on 4, isn't it? 3 or 4?
4, yep.
Yeah, so they're both in the mix still. Away.
Yeah, but
and
from
Matty
the yellow,
Matty Gilmore,
he got a good drive there.
Matt Gilmore.
Now he's got to hang on to it at the moment. He's got Holder right behind him. And these three, we might have seen a lot of overtaking, but gee, the racing has been so close in every heat. Well, that's a reflection of the tightness of this track. No one really gets a chance to get away unless they start mugging each other. And look at the little fella, Happy Gilmore at the moment.
And Pickering's having a go at Jack Holder. Jack Holder doesn't really know what to do here, I don't think. He doesn't know whether to throw everything he's got at Matty Gilmore or defend his second place from Pico.
But Matty Gilmore, what a great effort from him at the moment.
Jack Holder's closing in, but he's only got a lap to go and he's not really doing anything different enough to make up any ground. Oh, Pico's caught that rut as well off turn 2.
But Gilmore, the 17-year-old from Cowra, he's doing great stuff here. Well done to the young fella.
Take a bow, Matty Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. And from the yellow again.
a few of these lesser experienced guys, Braxy, are probably taking a couple of races to figure out what they need to be doing. And for me, that was probably one of the best rides I've seen Matt Gilmore do. And when you can get out in front,
and don't
he can go as quick as anybody. The kid's won two
world champions, two 250cc world
yeah.
champions. I was just about to say that he's not too shabby, and he's got his heroes are Darcy Ward and Chris Holder. So maybe Darcy might be able to give him a few little tips as well.
Yeah.
But look at this, he never succumbed to any sort of pressure. He just had his head down, and he knew what he had to do from the outset. And to get the jump against Holder in that line.
Pico picked up a little bit there, but he didn't. Jack didn't put him under huge pressure, but he put him under a little bit of pressure, and he just kept his head and rode his race.
Now we move on to event number 12, which is the end of round number 3. So we've got James Davies in red, Sam Masters in blue, Rob Metzen in white, and Mason Campton on the outside in yellow. So Sam Masters, well, he'd be expecting, I know you don't expect to win, you want to win races, but he'd be thinking, these are 3 of the easier points that I might pick up tonight.
Yeah, we just saw what Matt Gilmore did off the outside, so let's just see what Mason can do here. But Mason needs a few points in his bank account.
He lifts the wheel off the line too, but
he's got back to the inside. He's going to get.
And Masters has run it pretty wide. Oh, but Masters is back at him.
Kept going.
And Campton picked it up again on the exit of the turn as well. So, and again, like you said, Masters is hunting that dirt on the upside of the track.
Straight away, not even on the first turn. They're trying to ride on the inside now. The guys from the inside are moving straight up. So there must be a bit more there.
And look how much he's cleared out there. He's got about a full bike length lead at the moment.
Yeah, even more than that, Braxy, as we speak. But Mason's settled into second place. He doesn't look all that comfortable, does he, Mason? Masters and Sam's really going wide on the pit turn there. He's right up on the top of the banking and there as well.
Well, like you said at Curry with the magic carpet on the straights, there might be a bit of magic carpet all the way around this track if you're on the high side.
It's starting to, isn't it? You can actually see some smoke coming off Mason Campton's tyre there. Down on the inside line, it's starting to slicken up. There'll be a blue groove down there pretty soon.
Well, you picked that up after practice, actually, mate, that there was a bit of a blue groove coming on.
Yeah, and it'll get worse. It'll get worse. It'll get a bigger blue groove as the night goes on. But
well, just explain to people what that blue groove actually does to your traction and your drive.
Yeah, well, when the track goes really hard and starts to seal over in places, the rubber off the tyre actually starts to lay down, and you can almost see it on the screen there. The line there, and it actually grabs hold of your tyre and can actually give you almost as much traction as what the deeper dirt can do on the outside.
Well, that's a famous characteristic of the racing in America on the big long tracks too, isn't it? The really hard packed dirt surface they've got over there.
Gary saying don't swallow a fly ruins the commentary. We're trying not to.
Mate, we've done about 10 down here. You didn't notice for being the champion.
It's not too bad in here, Braxy.
No.
Hey, the aircon's working as well.
And
tonight,
we gave it a good spray of the Bushmans before we walked inside as well.
Pit end strikes again, yeah. Jamie Lee, let's go Joel Coyne.
Oh, it's great to see everybody.
Good to see Coyne get up from that one, actually, because he hit the ground pretty hard there, and he jumped up. He only had a matter of minutes as well, didn't he? There was no time given to him. Jumped on his spare bike and out again.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. What discipline a motorcycle racing is. If you have a bit of a whoopsie, all you want to do is go out and go faster than you've ever done before on the next lap you get out there.
Normally the best way to do it, isn't it?
So they tell me. But there you go, ladies and gents. Hashtag 2018 Speedway Oz. For all your more Twitters, we love hearing from you in here. It's a great thing about live streaming, unlike live television, where we can actually interact with the people watching us or listening to us and watching the action on NRG TV.
I'm going to cut you off there, Braxy. We did notice actually before in a race with Josh Pickering that we said we thought he'd gone over the inside line with his both wheels.
Yep, and
I've just heard from a race official that I think he's been deducted and disqualified for deducted points from that race.
Now that goes back to the first round, I think it was.
No, I think it was round 2, race 5 possibly. Yeah, race 5. Max.
Yeah, because he was second.
Yeah. So that will give James Davies a point and Max Frick 2 instead of 1.
So that's...
maybe we should wait until we hear officially, but unfortunately for Pico, it was quite clear for us to see on the entry of that corner on the way in.
I'll just put the question mark beside Josh there.
I'm just going to ask the official again. Have we got it on the scoreboard? Josh Pickering, E. Oh, he was excluded from round 3. Oh, he must have done it again in round 3. Maybe we can't say too much about round 2 then.
Round 3, I didn't notice that he...
yeah, he was very close to it again, yeah.
Josh Pickering. So that was in race number 11 where he finished 3rd anyway. So I suppose that's a blessing there that he's only lost 1 point.
Well, yeah, but I guess he's maybe got a warning for the first one and he's repeat offender. He's very lucky to get away with it in race 5 or race 5 it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But there's a scoreboard. We've got 2 unbeaten riders after 3 rounds. Brady Kurtz and Sam Masters both out front on 9 points, and Rowan Tungate breathing down their neck on 8.
Well,
Jordan Stewart 6 points. He's been consistent through the night. Matthew Gilmore, there you go.
Yep.
It's amazing what a race win can do for you, Brax.
Put him up to 6 points.
Fires him straight up to 6 and a race win.
Yeah.
Jack Holder on 7. Max Fricks, he's only on 5. Max is on 5. Disappointing last run for Jai Etheridge after a win. He's on 5. Mason Campton on 4. Josh Pickering now on 4. We'll see if that gets Pico going. Sometimes with Pico, you need something to stir him up to get him up and running. It's really funny because the corner's so tight anyway. It's so surprising that he's right in there on the inside.
Yeah, just the line he's trying to attack that corner. It's just pushing him into too far in.
Yeah, and I think that possibly that line could be even less beneficial for him as the night goes on, because you can clearly see on that track now the hard, shiny, slippery part of the inside there and the bit of dirt that's on the outside.
Well, Crumpy's just been giving some advice to one of the riders. We have a bit of a break here in NRG2. Well, not a break at NRGTV, but a break in proceedings as the track gets watered, and also they've got the scraper up to bring a bit of dirt to the surface. But as we've alluded to a couple of times, you can actually see this blue line on the NRGTV screens at the moment of where it's starting to get very, very hard packed, and the rubber is starting to get laid down. So these things are sliding, and I'm sure Jason will come back and give us a bit of an update there with what he was talking to about Brady Kurtz. But the scraper goes down. And a bit of controversy there with Pickering getting excluded. But like we said, it was only 1 point he lost because he came 3rd in that heat that he's been excluded from. Where at the previous one where he cut the track, he lost a couple of them. Okay, he could have lost a couple of points. But so we'll won't be too long before we're back in action. We've had the young tackers out there on track again. The 9 to under 16-year-olds on their little 250s on the purpose-built junior speedway track. But I think we might go down to the pits while we've got a break with Aidan Williams. He's got man that's been in pretty dynamic form at the moment, haven't you there, Aidan? With Brady Kurtz jumping in for a bit of a chat with him.
Big first 10. It's a long first 10 now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how about that for round 3? It's over in the books. Thrills and spills in both that one. However, no such luck for Brady Kurtz, mate. Maximum points so far. How you feeling?
Nah, it's been good. Just trying to keep it going and not make silly mistakes like I did the other day. And it's looking good for me so far. But 2 to go, and they'll be a important 2 for me.
Obviously, it was only a small hiccup at the first round. Come out here, maximum points 3 rounds in. The track, it looks like you're really finding your vibe with it.
It is. I really enjoy coming here usually, and I've done good here in the past. And yeah, it's when the track's nice, it's enjoyable to ride and it's a lot easier to win.
You sound like you've done a few laps around here. You say the track is nice. On the comparison of other times you've seen it, how is it forming up?
It's probably the best I've ever seen. It might be a little bit on the slick side, but when the tracks are this small, they've got to be slick to be raceable. And it's absolutely perfect. I've got to give it up to them.
Now, obviously, we're going into the 4th round. We are getting into crunch time now to make it to the finals. You're on maximum points, so you've put yourself in a great position. Any changes to the bike or anything before you go out there?
Not at the moment. When it's going good, I don't want to touch too much. But, I'll be keeping an eye on the track all meeting. And if I think changes need to be made, then for sure I'll try and keep on top of it.
Good luck out there in the next one.
Thanks, guys.
How about that? If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Brady Kurtz.
Fix it, but Kurtz is wanting to fix a few things up. He wants to get into that final again, and with those maximum amount of points. And at the moment, when he came into this event, Rowan Tungate was leading on 18 points. Max Frick was in second on 15. Josh Pickering was 14. And Brady was 4th in 13 points. So he's certainly pulled back a few points already, as has Sam Masters, who started the night in 8th position in the championship as the defending champion. And now the lights will start to take an effect as we get close to the proper sunset is disappearing. It looks like a magnificent sunset up here at Undera, as the tractor's still heading around and getting some dirt there and trying to get that blue line off, but it won't be too long before the boys find the line and get up there and give it a bit of a curry there, as they find, as Crumpy's alluded to in his expert analysis. Man, it's done a few laps of Speedway tracks around the world, showing that he knows exactly what's going. As we have a look at the GoPro footage of Crumpy this afternoon, as he put his GM 500 through its paces, and you actually see how slick it was, the way he wasn't taking a while for the rear end to come round for him, tipping it in, then getting the rear end to come round and driving through the turn. And a lot different to what the track is now at the moment, as it slowed right up on there, got the drive out again, and then tipping it in, and the front end working feverishly to maintain traction. And there's the speed tracker, and he's getting some nice little speed up there, up around 120, 130 kilometres an hour, back down to 60. And also got the GoPro gyro on there to actually know which way he's facing there on the GoPro footage, as we get ready for heat number 4, or round number 4 of this second leg of the 2018 Australian Speedway Championship. And I think at this time, we've still got a bit of a break. We'll go down and have a word with Aidan again and see who's managed to corner and get some words from wisdom from.
Well, that's 3 rounds in. I found the 3-time world champ, Jason Crump. Obviously, it was a mixed bag of results out here so far, but consistent on a couple of the riders.
Yeah, Kurtz and Masters have been very consistent. Not really a surprise. If you were going to ask me for a couple of surprises, I'd say probably Rowan. We keep saying it's not really his type of track, but he's got 8 points from 3 races, only dropped 1. The biggest surprise for me, to be honest, is probably Max Frick. I expected Max to probably be on 7 or 8 points as well, and he's looked a little bit ordinary, actually, in my opinion, at a track where I thought he would have dominated with a guy with his amount of experience. But it just shows you these guys aren't messing about. They're doing it as much as they can. They're all pushing hard, and track conditions possibly a bit slicker than a lot of guys would like, but it's the same for everybody, and they've just got to get on with it. And I'm sure Max has ridden slick tracks before in different parts of the world. It's just not quite working for him. But you can see how open it is. Matty Gilmore goes out and has a second and a third and doesn't kind of look, with all due respect to him, exceptionally good. And then all of a sudden jumps out of the start and beats Jack Holder. And it's a result that came from nowhere.
Another rider there, Jack Holder, doing very well. Frick, though, just touching back on that, it really struggles like he's struggling to get off the line at the moment.
Well, he got off the line with Brady in the restart of that last race, but just didn't, they touched a little bit onto the back straight, but just, to me, he just doesn't look comfortable and he doesn't look relaxed on the bike, and he's choking the speed out of it a little bit, and not working. A small track like this, you've got to be smooth and relaxed on the bike.
Now, just one final question. We're starting to see the guys start to get ready. Track conditions, what you expected? How's it forming up?
A lot better than when I rode, 100%. But you know that you can see the good guy. I say the good guys. We're talking about the fastest guys here tonight. They're all starting to try and get onto the top of the banking and use that little bit of dirt that's up there. And track looks okay to me.
Well, it looks like we're time to go racing again.
Let's go.
All right, back up in the booth. Let's go racing.
Thanks, guys. As we get ready for the next round number 4. And it's really starting to warm up here as far as on-track action. We've got, the next leg's coming up, event number 13. We've got, could be a pretty tight one. We've got Mason Campton in red, Jamin Lindsay in blue, Matty Gilmore, fresh from his win, his last start out of the white gate, and Max Frick, who really has to do something. Max has only scored 5 points out of his 3 races, out of a possible 9, so he won't be too happy with that. He starts from the yellow, but, well, now that they've got this track regraded again and watered again, it'll be interesting to see who jumps out of the gate, because in that last round, the big winner was the blue. We had 2 winners come out of the blue, one out of the yellow, and the third one was out of the yellow, yeah. So blue taking out 1, and yeah, so it's a bit of an even Stevens. Yellow still taking out 2 at the moment. So
you're getting the hang of this Speedway luck, Braxy, aren't you?
I certainly am. I did a little bit of study during the week. I've always had an interest in it, but it's a bit different sitting on the outside and looking at it than it has been in the nitty-gritty and seeing what happens against the coalface, so to speak.
Yeah, Max Frick, as we've been saying, it's been a surprise to see him with the points that he's got, but a rider with his experience and his talent, 2 race wins can fire him straight back into the mix, and you would have to say that he's certainly capable of doing that.
Well, he had last week, on Saturday night, he had 3 wins and 2 seconds in his 5 heats as well. So he bounded out of the gates the way you're meant to in a championship. But it's stalled a bit at him at the moment with 2 seconds and a third.
Yeah, not the way he would have wanted it to go. But this group of racers, Max has drawn. He's drawn number 1 tonight, so he's out every time on a freshly prepared track, and it's possibly, he had a few injuries towards the end of the season in Europe and missed the tail end of the season there, a couple of nasty knocks on the head, and he's, I think, using this championship to get himself some confidence built back up and get back in the swing of things again.
Yeah, well, he'll be hitting up.
That's funny, Braxy. They've just actually sealed the track over with the heavy roller, and they've actually gone and put a bit of water on top of that. I'm not really sure if might make it a bit slippery for the first one.
Well, just getting back to Freaky at the moment, the World Under-21 champion back in 2016, and he's hoping to compete in England this year as well. He was saying he was doing Poland and Sweden, or Poland and the amount of travelling he's doing. Lives in Andorra. So,
yeah,
sorry.
I wouldn't have thought that he'd probably get back to his home base all that much. It's a little bit out of the way, but
well, it's a fair drive from Barcelona. That's your closest airport, well, international airport when you're going around Europe anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that track now. What would, if you were sitting there ready to race and you came out and saw that, what would you be thinking?
I'd be trying to talk to the pit marshal and have a conversation with him, so he kept the pit gate closed for a bit longer and let it dry out a bit.
Yeah, it's not that very inviting, is it, by the look of it?
The great Tony Rickardson and I used to do a very similar thing with the Speedway Grand Prix race director, Ollie Olsen, at the Speedway Grand Prix practice. If we were the first group out after a track preparation and they, in our opinion, put a bit too much water on, we always used to try and engage Ollie in conversation and get him talking about something from his racing day to soak up a bit of time, because when you got Ollie talking about the Speedway from back in his time, he always guaranteed a bit of a conversation.
Oh,
so we would start the conversation with Ollie about some world final from the 60s or 70s that he was in and hope to soak up 5 minutes of track drying time.
And he didn't see through it in the end?
I think he certainly did, but...
And thanks, Jimmy Jones, for
Jimmy
your comments.
Jones, a young rider. I think he finished on the podium in the Australian 250 Championship a few years ago. It certainly was, Rudy.
Yep.
It was a bit closer than Rowan wanted for a little while there, I think. But Gene Barr, great ride from Matt Gilmore.
Certainly was a great ride.
He jumped out.
Yeah, and Zane Kennedy, you're right there with Masters and Kurtz looking good. But it will be a sensational final. And,
Ty propped up.
Well,
hello, Ty. Good to hear from you, mate. Hope things are going well. Ty from this part of the country.
Yep.
A Victorian boy back in the UK after a couple of years off with work permit problems and so forth. Back over there plying his trade again with, I think, the Workington Comets.
So he's just looking at the point scores for the 3 rounds, and Sam Masters finished second here last year on his way to the championship. He's got 3 wins, and Brady Kurtz with 3 wins as well. So they're the only 2 riders that have got the perfect result so far. The rest are not too far behind, and being Rowan Tungate on 8 points, with 2 wins and a second. So
Jack Holder on 7. Jordan Stewart on 6.
And Jordan Stewart's having a pretty good run
Jordan
tonight
Stewart's
too.
Doing really well, actually. He's had 3 second places. That's consistency.
And
just needs to break through. Just needs to make us, give himself a better opportunity with a good start and see what he can do if he can actually hit the front. I think these riders are taking a leaf out of the book, Braxy. I'm trying to get a view of the pit gate there. Maybe they are engaging in conversation.
They're not in a hurry to get out there, that's for sure. They're probably just saying, the sun's going to be in our eyes and we might just stay in here a bit longer. Not that there's any sun being really until about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this afternoon, the clouds started to come in.
Yeah. I'm glad it wasn't 43 degrees again, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, very much so. I do like the heat and I do love the summer, but that was brutal. And it was in the shade, the 42 degrees as well.
Our little air conditioning unit in the booth had been going flat out all day, and by about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, it wasn't even really touching it, was it?
No, there was more hot air being blown out of that than coming out of us.
Maybe out of you.
I've got to give it if I can take it anyway. But no, it is a great event. Getting through to the, 4th and 5th round before we move on to the B final, where that'll have 4 riders selected, with the winner of that moving on to join the top 3 finishers overall the point scoring rounds to contest the A final. And with the A final, it is just a slight difference in the points where the winner gets 4 points through the 3-2-1. Whereas
it's funny how the program and the draws work, Braxy, because we could have a precursor of the A final in race number 20 with Rowan Tungate, Brady Kurtz and Sam Masters all facing each other in the last qualifying heat of the night.
If things go the way the script is unfolding at the moment, you're dead right there, Crumpy. You put that up on the board even before a wheel was turned to practice earlier on. And but last was interesting. You had 5 races up there last week that you thought were key events, but 3 races this week. And then saying that, there's been a couple like with Happy Gilmore coming out of the blocks and winning his last heat race from the outside, and with the other couple of guys might have thought that they might have got through with where was he in that?
He was off the fall grid, wasn't he?
And he was up against Josh Pickering and Jack Holder, who were out there to, they were very determined to get some points. But Matty Gilmore was, denied them the chance. But as we see now, we're ready for event number 13 of the program. We've got Mason Campton from Curry there in on his bib number 7 in red. Then it's Jamin Lindsay on bib number 12 in blue. Matty Gilmore in 14 in white. And then on the outside, Max Frick. Well, there you go. Matty Gilmore's got the bee in his bonnet. He's ready to go. Max Frick's going, I'm not doing too well at the moment. I've got to really start pulling some stuff out of the bag to actually make it into the B final.
Yeah, that's right. So getting set for a start.
And tapes are up there away, and from the outside we see that, Frick runs
Gilmore's
it wide, but
again.
Gilmore's away again from the white cap. And
Not a lot of room left there. That was a tight exit of turn 2.
And the 2 times 250cc world champion runs it a bit.
Campton coming up the inside of Max Frick.
Not quite there, so Frick still maintains second position, but look at the drive. Oh, they nearly had a bit of a touch there.
Here comes Frick up the inside of Gilmore.
And he's pushed him wide, but Gilmore's not giving up by any stretch of the imagination. Comes round the outside of him again. They're knocking each other to pieces at the moment.
And Campton's trying to pick up the pieces around the inside, but not quite.
I'll tell you what, I don't think they were asking what they were going to have for a drink after the proceedings finished this afternoon.
That was Max Frick had to use all of his experience there because Matt Gilmore out in front wasn't quite going as hot as what the boys behind him wanted him to be. He was in the lead on the right part of the track, and Frick had to use a lot of track to get past him and also defend his line, but Gilmore's holding on to second place ahead of Mason Campton.
I tell you what, though, that was one of the most physical and, well, the enforcer you might have to start calling Fricky there after that one, because he wasn't backing off by any stretch, was he?
No, he just couldn't quite get himself in the position he needed to be, but Gilmore's certainly found something with the way he's riding. He's made 2 starts in a row, and again, a couple of starts, and he's, at the front, in the front, or in and around the front, and we're watching his confidence grow lap by lap.
Well, you certainly didn't show him the door and say,
there's no room left there. And Jamin Lidsey at the back, we didn't even mention his name. They all picked up off turn 2 there, and you can see Campton's challenging Frick up the inside, and Gilmore's just,
Did he run it in a bit too hot here, which allowed, well, not so much here, but at the next corner. Look at the drive that Frick gets out of that bottom turn. And comes right up and muscles his way through there.
Didn't quite get him there, though, Braxy, did he? He had to, it took him another lap. He had to run it. Yeah. I think Max's experience just put him in a position where Happy couldn't quite get across him to get his the entry needed into the turn.
And just caused him to lose a little bit of his momentum there as we move on to heat number 14 with Jai Etheridge in red on the inside on bib number 2. Then it's James Davies in blue on bib number 13. Next to him, Jack Holder in bib number 8 with the white cap on and rounding it out. Brady Kurtz, can he make it 4 from 4 from the yellow gate on with bib number 11? And he's stamping down the ground there to try and get some, make sure that he can get the jump off the line. But as we've seen in that last heat, Max Frick didn't get a bad start off that line, did he?
Well, Max actually jumped quite well, but probably got more drive than he expected. I think he lifted more than he really wanted to. So I think Brady's probably still not in a bad position here with Reggie and Davies off the inside.
I'll tell you that what these people here on the outside of turn 1 are having a marvellous entertainment tonight with the action they're getting out of the gates and also some of the action later on during the race. We said it was hard to pass here, but if you want to pass, you can pass.
Takes a bit of skill, but we've got good riders here tonight.
I'm just going on that one, but out of the gate was Jack Davey. Yep, they've already called it. That was now. What are they going to do here, Crumpy? It was like
we've got a camera just there, Braxy. If you have noticed, I haven't made a comment.
Yeah, well, it's probably best not to at the moment.
Just had words from the officials. Jack Holder's excluded. I think you'll find Brady Kurtz moved a little bit at the start, possibly sucked Jack Holder into the tapes, but at the end of it all, it's the guy that hits the tape, I think. It's difficult to tell. They both went very, very similar times, didn't they?
Do you think that Jack's
definitely touched it, because you can see the bow in the tape from his wheel.
Okay, I won't say that he was hard done by. It was a good call by the referee. And speaking of that, we've got the benefit of sitting here and watching a replay. The ref has got to make it in that instant without any real...
But in the ref's favour, Braxy, he's sitting in a straight line. He's looking across the tapes from outside to inside in a tower above it. So we're looking at a head-on view or we're not looking at it from the right angle, are we? That puts Matt Pickering out in the white.
Okay, Matt Pickering in the white to replace Holder.
I don't think Jack Holder's too happy about that one. I think he's having a discussion here with the clerk of the course and maybe on the phone to the referee. There's no question that Brady Kurtz moved.
You can see it here on the replay, Jace.
Yeah, Brady Kurtz definitely moved a little bit.
But there you can see it.
Yeah. And
he probably is thinking of, well,
he's looking across Brady Kurtz. The rider off gate 3
and
looks
he's
to
looking
the
at
right.
him. Yeah.
So it's one of those things that happens almost.
He's almost
sucked
resigned
him
it, yeah, and resigned it to himself that he's gone home.
Always try to give myself a little bit more room between the tape and as much room as you possibly can between your tape and the front wheel for that instance. If the guy next to you on the start, if you're off gate 2 or gate 3, if you're off gate 2, you look to the left to the inside of the starting pole, so you're looking basically across the guy on gate 1. If you're on the 3 gate, you're looking across the guy on 4. Any sort of movement at that instant before the race is normally enough to get you through the tapes.
Okay, I'll bring this. So this could be a very moot point, but if you give yourself a little bit of extra room behind the tapes that you're not going to touch, what you were saying before, that you from the outside that you can get better. You've got more of a distance, but you got more of a speed to get in there. Can't the same be said if you're another few inches back, that you're just getting that little bit of a jump out of there?
Remember the other night I said to you that the start marshal's got an important job to do.
Yeah.
And his job is to try and keep the riders as close as the regulations say.
Yeah.
With the front wheel to the starting tape.
So how far back are you allowed to go off the tapes?
My measurement was always a bit different than everyone else's.
So you like to have that little bit of extra room to do that precise thing.
A former Australian champion, Craig Boyce, had a notorious habit of when the green light came on, he would pull the bike back. So the start marshal could have his tyre basically touching the tape, but by the time the green lamp came on, he was back from it.
And here we go again. So Pickering is there in the white, but from the outside, Kurtz gets the gate and goes right out. So we're at the second position at the moment. We've got Etheridge there and Davies in third.
No, Davies is a
he's in the blue.
Third.
Yeah.
But Brady Kurtz probably wasn't too bothered that Pico's off.
Oh,
that's a big.
What's that?
Jai Etheridge. That's a big hit there for Pico into the fence.
Now there's something happened because as soon as Etheridge got up, he was like, "What the hell were you doing there?"
Oh, did he touch him or?
Well, it was just out of camera shot, I think. He's not happy, Etheridge, that's for sure. He's picked the bike up and said, "Get up, you're not hurt."
Here we go. As he tapped his back wheel. Oh, here we go. That's out of turn 4. We're going into turn 1 now.
This is it, and that's right here. There it is.
Oh, yeah,
they
he's
get
just
tagged.
tipped Reggie's back wheel.
Now, if we can get the front-on shot there, we might be able to get a better angle of it because we're obviously concentrating on the leader, Kurtz.
Yeah.
Just tagged him there. Oh, that's a big hit.
He's not happy, is he, Jai?
No.
I don't think he...
Do you think he's got a full understanding of what actually happened there?
Well, he's got a full understanding that Pickering's gone into the fence very hard, but he's... Don't know, it's difficult to say.
Well,
there's Matt and Josh there with him, his cousin Josh, but if we could get no, we've lost the view there from the camera.
Because it's happened just out of camera shot.
Very, very lucky there, Matt.
And it'd be interesting to see if we could get another angle, what he's done just in that lead-up as they've come into the corner.
Yeah. But
we won't. We'll wait till we get an official word of what's going to happen there from the referee. But
the white rider, Matt Pickering, the reserve's going to be excluded for that. I don't think Etheridge did anything wrong there. Etheridge he did a good job actually to lay the bike over when somebody hits the back of your bike and
stands it up.
Yeah.
Well, plenty of drama here at Undera, that's for sure.
Plenty of drama.
So that white gate, not real good at the moment. Jack Holder getting disqualified from that one, excluded from it for touching the tapes, and Matt Pickering coming out as his replacement and being shuffled into the boards.
This is the third restart of this race.
So now with Pickering, so that means there'll be the white gate will be vacant.
It will be vacant this
and
time.
that helps even Kurtz a little bit more because he's got a bit more room between him and gate number 2 to get across, as you've been talking about. And
look at the speed he hits the fence with here. Pico, he's lucky.
Oh.
He just got a bit of angle on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Etheridge isn't happy, and I know there's, I know the Etheridge family. They've been a very competitive bunch of guys. Shannon Etheridge is his brother.
He did lift the bike off him.
Yeah, well, that's...
I think if Pico would have been up and at him, I think there might have been a bit of a scrap on there, but... Yeah. Jai Etheridge we're going to have a little bit of a break.
I think there was a bit of frustration from Etheridge's part of just picking the bike up and getting a bit of the adrenaline out of him, because he definitely wasn't happy.
Yeah.
So now we've got to...
It's not given Etheridge much time. I mean, in an instant like that, where he's really done nothing wrong, sometimes a rider needs a minute or two just to...
What if something's happened to the bike when it's gone into the boards?
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, Braxy. Like, sometimes when you're the innocent victim of something like that, sometimes you need a minute or two just to be able to get the bike back in order, because you can see Brady Kurtz and James Davies are up at the start. Jai's not out there yet. He's not ready to go, so he's obviously he's nowhere near ready, is he?
No. I haven't even heard him go past from outside the studio.
We just need to... Yeah, he just needs a couple of minutes to probably get everything in order, get a bit of dirt and mud out of the side of the bike. And,
and I think the referee's doing a good job, and the clerk of the course as well, and the fact that giving him a bit of a leeway after the bike hitting the fence pretty hard. So Kurtz will probably be wondering what he's got to do to actually finish this race off and maybe take 4 from 4.
Yeah. These are always tricky races for guys, for somebody like Kurtz here. He's been out the front, or he was out in front of that race, and the race before was a restart.
Both starts he has been out there,
He finally got it out, but it's just one of those tricky ones, isn't it?
Yeah, here comes Etheridge.
Yeah, they've got it going.
So he's on the inside, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. James Davies beside him in blue. Gate number 3, the white gate, will be empty because Matt Pickering has been excluded from that one, as was Jack Holder, and Brady Kurtz on the outside, looking to go 4 from 4.
Probably be a bit of a surprise if he doesn't. He doesn't manage to do it.
Well, it just depends how fired up Etheridge is.
Well, he wasn't happy, was he?
No, he might be breathing fire at the moment. And away they go, but Kurtz gets a great start, just comes across and shuts the gate. So it's Etheridge in second. What answer have they got for Kurtz? Because he is on form. Look at that. In less than a lap, he's cleared out with about 4 bike lengths. He's just got the wick opened up, and he has gone for it. He's been a bit frustrated with this, and he's gone, this is what I've been wanting to do for the last 5 minutes.
He's looking fast and smooth, Brady, isn't he? And he's got the bike working very well off the start.
Well,
all the track.
Yep, the 2 guys that we were mentioning are in fine form tonight before we even started, Kurtz and Masters. And Kurtz has just been, this is the second race he's won by a pretty handy margin too.
Yeah, he's got a lap to go. Not quite as wide up on that corner as he was a lap before. So he's just taking it half easy at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's rolling off the throttle, trying to find some drive. Millie's across the line.
So Kurtz,
sharp, isn't he?
Yeah, makes it 4 from 4. Etheridge in second position and Davies there in third. So finally, event number 14 has come to a close. And the officials will be wanting to wrap through these ones pretty quick. And the next event, number 15, they'll be coming out very soon. And Pickering and Etheridge are from the same district as well, so...
I think Jai was just probably a bit frustrated.
Oh, yeah, he was. But I'm just saying they would have been racing against each other for a number of years as well. But at his racing, it's only that nanosecond of misjudgment or perfect judgment. As we go to event number 15. So we've got, in red, we've got Cooper Reardon on bib number 16. Then in blue, we've got Declan Knowles on bib number 3. Rob Medson in white in bib number 10. And Rowan Tungate from the outside in yellow. Well, you'd think that he'd have a this one is almost in the bag for him, because no offence to Cooper Reardon, Declan Knowles or Rob Medson. Rowan Tungate, he's been on form. He's only, he's got 2 seconds out of the, this will be the 9th race of the championship for him, the 9th heat of the championship, pardon me, besides the final last week. And he only dropped 1 point last week in Curry, and he's only dropped 1 point so far tonight too.
These are the races. This is a race that Rowan would possibly look at and maybe try something slightly different with his bike.
Look, just not quite ready at the moment. Reardon not up to the tapes. Good start. So weird. Oh, look at him straight out it like a bullet into the lead. He just had that well and truly wicked up the perfect gearing. He jump off the line and let the rest give chase. As in second position, we've got Declan Knowles, but he's getting a bit of a hurry up from Rob Medson at the moment.
Robert Medson in second, and
Reardon has moved up to third.
Declan Knowles at the back.
Yeah, he managed to get him, did Reardon, in that previous lap, as we were concentrating on look at Tungate just clearing out.
He's looking smooth, isn't he?
You said it in practice, he didn't look smooth, but he's obviously been fiddling with the bike or himself and managing to get it, I mean, as far as his mental
the boys at the back are having a go here, actually. Young Declan Knowles was having a look up the inside of Cooper Reardon there, and he hasn't quite managed to do it. All experience. The Rowan Tungate out in front there. Looking forward to that race number 20, Braxy.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolute cracker. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people on the edge of the fences there trying to get a good vantage point of it. And, great Wednesday night entertainment here at Undera. So this is the final heat for round number 4. So we've got 4 more races after this before we get into the B&A final. And on the inside of the track in the red is Josh Pickering on bib number 9. Next to him is Joel Coyne in the blue cap with number 6 on his back. Then it's Sam Masters in the white on bib number 4, and Jordan Stewart in the yellow on bib number 15. And Josh Pickering, I think he might be a bit fired up as well.
Yeah, copped an exclusion for putting both wheels across the line. He was probably quite lucky, Braxy, not to get it in the race before as well.
But Sam Masters, he'd be one that'd be thinking that this is another 3 points that he should be able to get hold of.
Not so from the other night, really, is it? I mean,
no, but
off gate 1, you wouldn't count him out. Good to see Joel Coyne back up and back out on the track again after that nasty spill.
Yeah, here they go. Tapes are up there away again. And from the white gate, it is Masters that gets there. Gets good drive up high, takes the high line and lets them give chase. In second position, we've got Pickering. And then it was Stewart with Masters there as well. But Masters there looking at...
Straight to the outside, straight onto the dirt. I thought Pico would have made a bit more of a fist of that, Braxy, actually, from the one gate.
But again, Masters just out of the gate, and he's got a 2 or 3 bike length lead by the halfway through the first lap.
Yeah.
Would these guys have much different in the gearing, or do you reckon they'd all would have pretty much settled on the same as we see the last lap? And Masters has a look behind him to see where he's up to, but Pickering in second, then it is Stewart in third, and Coyne rounding out the tail end of the field. And I'll tell you what, Pickering's still trying to cut the line very fine as he goes through the cornering there. But Masters, another one from 4.
Yeah.
So with Pickering in third, Pickering in second, Stewart in third, and Coyne the last of the bunch. As that closes out round 4 of this second leg of the Australian Speedway Championship here at Undera in Victoria. And I must say it's been a very balmy afternoon and evening, and hopefully this continues for the next couple of days, or the next few days. We've got Mildura, which during the summer can get a bit hot and nasty at the best of times.
Could be in for another curry.
Yep. Well, so they're just checking the tapes out there at the moment.
Mate, they're just taking them off Braxy for the water cart.
Oh, of course. I
Tracked up.
thought they might have just left them right up the top.
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah. And I reckon Aidan will be down there scurrying around the pits trying to find someone to interview.
Yeah.
It'd be actually good if you could get Jai Etheridge on, or one of them, just to get a bit of a post-mortem on that incident in leg number 14.
Sun's finally gone. Lights are working pretty good.
Yep. And not too many darker patches. They've got the lights pretty well spread, haven't they?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. What do we got, Braxy? We got 2 unbeaten riders, haven't we?
Yep.
We've got Masters and Kurtz. They're both on 12 and Tungate on 11.
And Tungate's just waiting to pick up the scraps.
Jack, very unusual for, you know, for a rider to hit the tapes twice in 2 meetings. Although, as we saw, he probably got a bit of a help through from Brady Kurtz, but I don't think he was as calm about that one as what he was for the first one at Curry, was he?
No, not at all.
We could hear him.
Yeah, Kurtz does perfect score. So it is shaping up as a bottler of a final. Because with them, well, Sam Masters and Kurtz look like they're through without too much grief at the moment. Everything goes according to plan in leg number 5.
What's important with race 20 is the choice of starting position as well, Braxy. Like, you have to, you know, the guy who wins that, if Tungate wins that, then I think he would get on. He'd be on 14, and Kurtz or Masters finished behind him, they'd also be on 14. But I think because Rowan won that race, I think he would have first pick a gate position for the big final. So there's a lot to play for in that race. But you're right, those 3, I think, have got enough of a gap just about, haven't they, to guarantee their spot in the final. Max Frick's going to need a few points.
Yeah, well, he's on at the moment. He's on 8 points.
Yeah. Here we go. There's a big score sheet up there.
Yeah, so it's Frick on, well, he's number 4 tonight. Sorry, Masters. And then Frick
Kurtz
there in number 1. He's in there, but the other man, we've got Brady Kurtz there on bib number 11. And then Tungate on bib number 5. He's only 1 point behind them.
Yeah, Geordie Stewart on 7, Matt Gilmore on 8. Josh Pickering's on 6.
So it's shaping up, but it'll be interesting to see who basically the wild card that comes through from the B final that wins that manages to put himself into the 4th position of the final, because there's a few there that have got a bit of form at the moment, and if things went either way, could really warm this championship up.
Yeah.
Because at the start of this this evening, Tungate was 3 points ahead of Max Frick. So Max Frick's going to drop down out of 2nd position, no doubt. Josh Pickering was on 14 points. Brady Kurtz was on 13. And Sam Masters was struggling down in 8th position on 7 points.
Yep.
So he's going to jump back up into, say, the top 5 or 6, will Sam Masters.
Probably jump a few more than that, Braxy.
Well, we'll see, because the top 7 were separated by 8 points coming in. That was Mason Campton on 10 points. But, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But there's just the upcoming rounds that we'll see on NRG TV. Round 3 at Mildura on Friday evening, 12th of January. And then rounding out this 4-round Australian Speedway Solo Championship at Gilman, South Australia, just one of the suburbs of Adelaide on 14th of January, Sunday evening. So it's going to be a very, very dramatic finish to the season. So, and one that I thought would have been up there a bit, Jack Holder. He had 7 points tonight, but that fourth leg didn't do him any favours getting that exclusion from touching the tapes. So there was the point standing as we came in, as we were just talking about. Tungate had the 3-point lead over Frick. So, well, with a bit of a tally up at the moment, he's got 11 points. So Rowan Tungate moves on to 29. Josh Pickering will drop down. Brady Kurtz with another perfect score of 12. He'll move on to 24 points at this stage. So Tungate's still got about 5-point buffer at the moment. In actual fact, ladies and gentlemen, he's probably got a bit more of an advantage at this point in time than he did, because Max Frick has not picked up the baton tonight to really move on with it. Max is picked up, what did we say, 7 points, so that's 22 points against the 11 points that Tungate has already got to put him on to 29. So, and Masters, as we said, he's moved with him onto 19 points. So probably, hopefully, consolidate a top 5 position. But the points are very, very tight at the top. But if Tungate keeps winning by, well, getting the wins he has, 3 wins and a second out of the 4 heats so far, he's only dropped, that means he's only dropped 2 points at the moment over the 9 races we've had. So I think we should go down. Well, we've got a break, and I reckon we've got someone down in the pits to have a quiet word and see what action we can come up with, and some information from the pits. Down to Aidan and Jason Crump.
Max Frick, a little bit of a frustrating night for you so far.
Yeah, for sure. I'm out after every track prep at the minute, so every time I go out it's pretty greasy. So I just need to get out front and it'll be okay. So I need to work on my starts a little bit. But if I get out front, then it should be okay.
The last race, you were in behind Matt Gilmore for a couple of laps. He was riding the absolute perfect line, probably not going at the pace you needed, though, and you had to use all your track craft and experience to get the track position you needed to go by him.
Yeah, exactly. Matt was doing really well in front of me, but he was just a little bit slower coming into the corner, and I just, dive-bombed him a little bit coming in there, and there was a little bit of contact, so fair play to Matt for keeping upright. But yeah, just need to keep on keeping on and hopefully picking up a few points.
What can you do? You've got one more heat race left. You've got 8 points in the bag. You need a few points to get a decent pick of gate position for the B final, or are you still aiming for the A?
I'm obviously still aiming for the A, but I don't know on the possibility where I'm at points-wise and where everyone else is. But like you say, the main thing is just try and get a good gate position, the best I possibly can, and make the most of it. Try and get in front and pick up a few points.
It's as you said, you're out every time after the track prep. It wasn't quite as warm as what it was in Curry today. From the commentary booth, the track looks in good nick. Is it riding okay?
It seems to be riding really good, and I'm jealous I'm not out in the later heats. Because the track does look really good. It's just been a bit slimy every time I've been out. So hopefully, maybe with a bit less water this round, it'll be a little bit better.
You see Kurtz and Masters are getting out of the starts very well and getting straight up onto the high line where there's a bit of dirt. That's where you want to be, but it's just not quite there when you're out.
Exactly. Every time they keep bringing the dirt back down and watering the track, and that dirt line just isn't there that first heat that I'm out each time. So we're making the most of what we got here, and hopefully we can pick up another 3 points in this next one to give us a decent pick.
Well, good luck, Max, and good luck for your next heat. Thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you.
There's a wisdom from Max Frick right on him at the moment. So he has got a good chance of, he's got Jack Holder to compete against in this his final round heat with Jordan Stewart and Rob Medson. And Jack Holder will be pretty well determined to get up there because, he was excluded from his previous heat race because of touching the tapes. And another good way to fire a rider up for a good performance as the water truck is hopefully he's disappearing shortly. We can get the action back underway at NRG TV here for the 2018 Australian Speedway Championships at Undera in northern Victoria on the outskirts of Shepparton. So it's good to see. Thanks, Kurt Weeks, enjoying the Speedway on the big screen. Well done. Yep, it's good there. And Happy Gilmore, GM Australia, and Kurt's the hashtags. And George Wood Thanks, mate. We'll be keeping up the good work, and we aim to improve it from the first one, and thanks that you've noticed that we did. And we'll even lift the game a bit more in rounds 3 and 4 as we come to a pretty dramatic climax in Gilman in South Australia on Sunday evening. It is going to be one very, very intense fight. And as Max Frick alluded to, he wants to get the 3 points in this next heat. That'll take him on to 11 points. And hopefully, well, he's made up. So far, he's had a second, 2 seconds, and a third and a win in that final, the fourth round leg. So hopefully he'll get there and get another 3 points. And he'll probably get into the B final without too much trouble. And you'd think with the ride of his experience, because it looks like it's going to be Brady Kurtz and Sam Masters and Rowan Tungate. That'll be the 3 that will go through to the final. And then the winner of the B final gets through to join those 3 at the tapes for the 4-lap finale. And we might go back down to the pits and see who else they've got cornered in the paddock around their pits.
Jack Holder, a bit of frustration in the last race. It appeared Brady Kurtz might have moved a little bit at the start and sucked you through.
Yeah, I know. It's all about the points, and I wanted to be the man to beat Brady tonight. He's on fire, but it's not. I'm making it hard for myself, that's for sure.
Well, pretty unusual for a rider. You just told me before you'd probably never touched the tapes in your whole Speedway career, and all of a sudden you've done it 2 times in the last 2 meetings at crucial stages.
Yeah, I know it's not the best Aussie title so fast, but yeah, I'm really making it hard on myself. But I've still got one more ride to go, and hopefully just getting that B final, and anything can happen.
Well, you made it tough on yourself at Curry, having to face a B final with a fired-up Josh Pickering, and honestly, it probably looks like it's going to be the same way into the big final again tonight.
Yeah, that's all right. As long as I get there, I don't mind. And then, yeah, anything can happen. I'm going right out there, just losing a little speed a bit, but, yeah, just keep the ball rolling.
Okay, well, good luck for the rest of the night, Jack. Thanks for your time. That's a frustrated rider with 2 tape touches. We'll go back to Braxy in the studio.
Yes, and like he said, he's probably never done it before in his life. As on screen now, we have a look at the young tackers again, the under 9s to under 16, or 9 to 6 under 16s on their little 250cc single cylinder machines. And they're, well, probably taking a lot of encouragement out of what they're seeing on track at the moment with the best in Australia and some of the best riders in the world as they go through their paces on the junior speedway track here at Undera. And I'm not quite sure, I've got the names of the riders here. They've Riley Plum, Michael Codgill, Julian Bond, James Crundwell and William Grote. But I'm not sure who's who in the zoo because they didn't put any numbers in the program, unfortunately. And they're all the local lads aspiring to one day move on to the Australian Senior Solo Championships and maybe put their names in the record books. It's got so many illustrious characters, including my co-commentator Jason Crump as well, but going right back to the first one in 1926 in Newcastle. And just down the road from where Speedway was invented, and Maitland Showground, as the folklore says. But, well, good to see you getting down there, running around and keeping the fitness up, Crumpy, as the junior boys are out there at the moment showing their wares and having a great fun in front of a pretty healthy crowd here at Undera.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden with Max Frick and Jack Holder not really firing on all cylinders tonight, race 17's important because those boys, both of them need a win.
Yeah.
You know, Jack's definitely not happy about, from that last race, and he said to me off camera he felt that Brady Kurtz had actually touched the tapes, and I said to him we'd watched numerous replays of it and it didn't appear to us as though he had, but you could definitely see the tape bend around Jack's wheel, but nevertheless it's put both him and Max in a position where they need a few more points desperately.
Actually, when you were ducking down there to do some interviews, I was actually telling the viewers about the point spread at the moment. And at the moment, Rowan at Tungate had a 3-point lead coming into this round. At the moment, he's got a 5-point lead with the way the point spread's gone. Because Frick's only got 8 points at the moment. 9 points at the moment. So that he's, 11. And he's moved into 26 points. So, and Tungate's moved up into about 30 points at the moment. So it's quite interesting. And also that Josh Pickering, he hasn't gone the way he's done, but Sam Masters, because he was so far back, he's only really picked up, he's got a perfect score. He's moved on to 19 points. So he's still a long ways adrift, and his chances of defending his title, mate, are all going to come down to that wretched round he had at the opening leg at Curry last weekend.
Yeah, well, like you say, Braxy, you can't win a championship in the first round, but you can
certainly lose it.
Yeah.
So in this one now for event number 17, we've got Max Frick on the inside in red, Jack Holder on bib number 8 in blue. He'll be pretty determined. Jordan Stewart in white on bib number 15, and rounding out on the outside gate in the yellow is Rob Benson on bib number 10. So Max Frick will be wanting to get this one away. Like he said, that he's been getting the short end of the stick this one, because it's always been a bit greasy when he's got out there after the freshly watering and grading. But that's just the way it goes in the draw sometimes. As now all eyes on the tapes, and they're up, and it looks like Frick got a pretty good start. Oh, he's cut it pretty fine going through there, but in the white beside him, Stewart. Yeah, very close. And then behind them, Jack Holder. And I tell you what, Frick has really started to pull it a little bit out now.
Jack Holder coming up the inside. He's in a good corner there. Jordan got himself into a bit of trouble there on the outside, but
is he actually holding Holder up to try and get by him there?
No,
as Frick just tries to get away a bit?
No, I don't think so. I think Geordie got himself into a bit of trouble, and Jack was on a bit tighter line and just kept his momentum. But Max Frick looks good in this race. It's the best start he's made all night. The bike bit in at the start and fired him to the first corner, and he's actually out on the... Oh, he's made a mistake there.
Just as you give him the accolades there, Crumpy, he's just overcooked it a little bit, but he should have enough up his sleeve to take the win, as Jack Holder has another last bomb at Stewart there, but not enough.
Not enough, and that doesn't do Jack Holder any favours in the...
Not at all.
In the add-up of the points, Braxy.
No,
good ride by Jordan Stewart. Well done.
Jack Holder. He won his first heat straight out of the box, which he probably put him in good stead. Then he's 2 seconds, and then an exclusion, and now he's dropped down to a third.
Yeah. That's a bit of experience coming through there for Max Frick, isn't it? Down to the business end of the night, and bang, makes his first start of the night and rides a really good race.
Well, that doesn't do Jack Holder's intentions of getting into the B final any favours whatsoever. As we move on to heat number 16, and there on the inside on the red cap is Josh Pickering on bib number 9. Then it's Jai Etheridge in blue in gate number 2. And then in white in gate number 3 is Mason Campton. And then Cooper Reardon in yellow. So you'd think it's going to be between Pickering and Etheridge to take out the win, but don't discount Mason Campton as well. And interestingly, all these three from the Hunter Valley probably live within a stone's throw of each other up there at Curry Way.
They've probably been racing motorbikes against each other for 15 years or more, Braxy.
Yep. So they know each other's moves probably inside out, but they're always trying to come up with another trick, pull another rabbit out of the hat, as they say, to get that extra win. Just seeing what the difference is.
Cooper Reardon's had a race win tonight, and he's off the 4 gate, so it'll be interesting to see if he can fire himself out of there.
Well, he needs to, because he's had 2 fourths and a disqualification.
And a race win? Or
Yeah, he had the race win in the first heat. But again, going through Pickering on the inside in the red, Etheridge in the blue, Campton on the white, and Reardon in the yellow, and they're away again in heat number 5.
Mason.
7 and 18 as they go through. Oh, I tell you what, Campton got a great start there too.
Campo got away well, but Josh Pickering got himself into all sorts of trouble trying to hug that inside line again, and didn't do Jai Etheridge any favours at all either. So allowed Cooper Reardon to get through, and Mason Campton's looks like he's got everything under control in this race. Looks fast out on the dirt, doesn't
Has
he?
a look behind to see where they are and probably thinks, yep, I've got a bit.
Pico's pulled up.
He certainly has in the red.
I think Josh Pickering's been excluded. I think he's gone over the inside line again.
We'll have to get a replay of that one as the last lap flag comes out. The yellow with the black cross, and it looks like Mason Campton, who had a pretty good round last week. He ended up 7th overall. But he looks like, you can see Pickering there on the inside of the track. So it is Mason Campton with 3 points. And then it was it Reardon in second position?
Reardon in second and Etheridge in third. And I'm pretty sure that Pico's been excluded from that race again. He's just trying to go too tight. I wonder if we've got
time to have a quick replay of the first lap to see where he did, if he did.
Here we go. Here's a start. Mason made a great start. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, well
way inside.
And he
way
knows
inside.
it then.
Yeah.
He was trying to pull himself out of it.
I'll tell you what, he got himself into all sorts of trouble there, didn't he? Look at that. He's gone in. He's tipped in. Back tyres on the line. Oh, way over the line.
He's on the grass, the front wheel.
Have a look here. He's full lock there because it's so slippery that it's not even prepared down there. Straightens up, full lock, straightens up. Jai Etheridge just trying to ride around the corner. He's in all sorts of trouble, isn't he, Pico?
Yeah.
Cowboy.
And Etheridge is trying to keep out of the way of that one.
Best Etheridge's run up for the whole race, really. There, that could have actually been pulled back for a restart.
As we move on to heat number 19, the second last heat of the evening. Declan Knowles in red on the inside. Jamin Lindsay in blue in gate number 2. James Davies and then Joel Coyne. So this is going to be a pretty good race between these 4 up-and-comers.
Yeah, well, Lindsay's been off form tonight. He rode really well at Curry, and that first race spill seems to have knocked the stuffing right out of him. He's made a start there.
He's leading the way in the blue.
In a bit of trouble. Good on him. He's picked that up.
So he's not going to bring the red flag out for the stop of that. No. But Lindsay still leading. But I tell you what,
Declan Knowles is pushing him.
Very
good
much
ride
so.
From Declan Knowles here.
But he's lost a bit of ground there on that first couple of turns as they come down now to complete lap number 2. And Jamin Lindsay, the the young kid from Mildura, he's got good drive out of that top corner.
He looks good in this race.
Yeah, well, he's in determined form. He's put the setback from that first heat well behind him as the last lap flag comes out. Great footage there. You see the bike sliding and fighting for traction going into turn 1. And he comes through the final couple of turns, does Jamin Lindsay. Feed up. Nice little slide across the line to take the win. And just trying to pick out who was second in that one. I think it was Declan Knowles that managed to hold on. But great stuff from Lindsay to get there. James Davies. So now we're moving on to the final heat of the night, and this is going to be an absolute rip snorter. Rowan Tungate, Matthew Gilmore, Brady Kurtz and Sam Masters. And I'll tell you what, the form that Matty Gilmore's put on, don't discount him whatsoever of just being the fly in the ointment of this final heat.
Just a quick update came through there on Matt Pickering. Hit the fence hard before Matt's okay. We got Joel Coyne about to fall off here. Joel just got a little bit too much drive and just laid it down and back to
there must be a lot
he still hit that fence with a good wallet.
But at least he was sliding. It was a pretty, not so much of a sharp angle to a pretty acute angle to it. But Matty Gilmore.
Would you put money on Matt Gilmore making the start here and winning this race with the other 3 worrying about each other?
Mate, the stranger things have happened, and we've seen how good it's been out of this meeting. It's been pretty evenly spread. I haven't done a real tally of it, but here we go. There, the starting order. Rowan Tungate on the inside. He's had 3 wins and a second. Matty Gilmore's had a win, 2 seconds and a third. Brady Kurtz has had 4 wins. Sam Masters 4 wins. Mate, you don't get more intense than that.
Not at all.
The young 17-year-old Matty Gilmore from Cowra, they breed him tough down there as well. I reckon this is going to be.
Kurtz and him are neighbours, I think, you'll find.
Yep. Well, they're from the same club as well down there. But Brady Kurtz is probably thinking, I hope I haven't taught him too much over the years. But this is going to be, well, we said it before that it's going to be a good leg, but man, now with the form of Matty Gilmore, it's just added that little bit of, well, I suppose the cayenne peppers into the mix. And he just lifted a bit on the way, but he gets a good drive. Oh, he runs it wide, Gilmore, but hangs on to it. No,
Brady Kurtz up the inside of everybody. What a turn. Sam Masters went from gate 4, made the start, went way too wide. Brady Kurtz lifting there, Rowan Tungate into second place.
And
that was a classic first turn. Gilmore's at the back, and he's just happy to watch it, Braxy,
I think you just made a couple of mistakes while you were calling that action.
What a corner. Sam Masters, he's done it all night. He's just going too wide on the first turn, and Brady Kurtz cut back to the inside line and rode right round the inside and past them both, and pulling away now. He looks fast. Kurtz is on the money now, and they're riding so wide.
Tungate in second position there, but wow, what an opening. And Matty Gilmore in the blue just trying it. There he goes. Sam Masters, Brady Kurtz in the white gets the win from Tungate. Was it in second?
Yeah, Tungate second and Masters third.
In third. Well, that's going to give a bit of action for the final points tally to decide the.
That's a really good effort from Brady Kurtz, because gate 3's not. It's an awkward gate to get off with Masters on 4 and Tungate on 1. He didn't make the start, but he used his head in the first turn there, Braxy, and cut back right to the inside.
Well, that's our first perfect score on the heats for 2018.
And he deserves it too. He's ridden really well tonight.
Well, as we said, he won the 4 out of the 5 last week, except for that glitch, and you reckon he was in third in that heat where it came unstuck for him. But, mate, Kurtz is on form, and we spoke about him and Masters at the beginning of the night, thinking they were going to be on it. And the only one that surprised me about being a bit out of it's Max Frick but he's got the B final.
He's got the B final, and that extra race, if he can get a good start in that, Braxy, use it as a bit of practice and come into the A final all wound up. It's open, but so far Brady Kurtz has been pretty impressive with the way he's ridden, and not by making every start every time, actually using some track craft and track position to get himself where he needs to be. So we've been saying it all night, haven't we? And Sam's, I guess, without being disrespectful to the other fellas, he's got away with it a little bit, Braxy. He's been going off the start and going so wide on the first turn. And in a race with a higher standard of opponent, I'm very surprised that he did that. The way you need to do it is to come from 4 with the speed he had there and clamp everybody down to the inside. Then they can't go anywhere. Brady Kurtz has cut back and the track's opened up in front of him. Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe Masters was thinking, because he won the first leg from outside, that his head was thinking, now I've got this. But Kurtz, mate, he's been in such determined fashion, and you hit it on the head when you spoke to him about that move that he did. I think he was rather understated the way he described that about, it was a pretty firm move I put on him, but it was all fair in love and war sort of
yeah,
thing.
but it is. I mean, we're racing, it's the Australian Speedway Championships. They're racing to be national champion.
And as he said, he seemed that he was slowing him up, so he had to try and get through him to get into the lead.
Yeah. So, it's a good night anyway.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with what Sam really, the way he rode the rest of the race, just gave everybody too much room on the first turn. And, and Rowan, by sneaking past him in that move as well, actually they both finish on 13 points. But I think you'll find that Sam gets the third pick in the A final behind Kurtz and Rowan.
Yeah.
On the fact that Rowan's beaten him in that race, I think.
Yeah, that should be
Well, I'm not sure. It might be the fact that Masters has won 4 races and Rowan's won 3. I don't know how it goes.
It'll be all on the point. Well, the points. We'll get that into the minute as I've got my shoes and socks off, trying to get everything under control.
I wondered what that smell was.
got 4 riders on 8. So that's where the fun begins with Count Max on the right.
We get a bit of track work going back on again for the B final and the A main. The track's actually held up well.
Very well, actually. Pardon me.
Have you got your scores sorted out there, Braxy?
Getting
Have you got
there.
your A and have you got your B finals?
Well, Frick was on 11. Now, Masters, where did he finish in that last one? He got a third. So he's got a 13 points. And then we've got Rowan Tungate, who's got and a second in that final one. So he's on 13 points, so he's equal.
Yeah.
And then we go down to the man of the moment, 15 points for Brady Kurtz. So you'd have to say it'll be Brady Kurtz,
it's those three,
Rowan Tungate and Sam Masters that are already into the A final.
Yeah.
Now we've got to get
final will
Max
be
Frick. Then we
Max
go
Frick.
down to, where's Mason?
Max Frick.
Where's Mason Kemp? No, he hasn't done it. Is Matty Gilmore. He's got 5, 7, 8. Not well.
Jai Etheridge has got 8.
Mason Kemp
Jack
is not
Holders.
there. Yeah, just looking through now, I reckon Matty Gilmore's found himself a place in there.
Very
Max
close.
Frick.
1, 2. Where's Jack Holder? What's Jack got?
Jack Holder's had a shocker. 3, 5, 7, 8.
8. Oh, there's a
Ooh.
load of them on 8.
So then that'll go, if
1,
that's
2,
the case, you'd
3,
expect.
4. Where's Geordie Stewart? What's Geordie Stewart got?
Geordie Stewart in that last.
I think he's got 9.
Geordie Stewart, where'd he end up here?
Here we go, on the screen, Braxy.
There we
Geordie
go.
Stewart's got 9. Okay, so out of Jai Etheridge, Mason Campton, Jack Holder, and Matthew Gilmore.
Would it
Mate,
go
we
to the
need to have
best
two riders. 2 riders out of those.
Well, Matty Gilmore's
4.
cooled himself by his, well, depending if they go on the placings or is it on the last race who decides which goes in.
Actually not sure how they do it, Braxy. But it's going to take a bit of working out because
Yeah.
they've all had a win, excluding Jordan Stewart. Oh no, he's on 9, sorry. Gilmore's had a win. Holder's had a win. Campton's had a win. Etheridge has had a win. There you go. How many seconds have they all had?
1 for Etheridge.
1 for Campton. 2 for Holder.
There you go.
There we go. B final, just been handed to me. The B final is Max Frick, Jordan Stewart, Matt Gilmore, and Jack Holder.
So I'll write that down before we actually get the gates out. Is that the order of the gates as well?
That's the order of the gate pick, I think.
So it's Max Frick in red. And then it'll be Jordan Stewart in blue. Then Appy Gilmore in white.
Yeah.
And Jack Holder in the yellow. So it's a last chance saloon at the moment to see who's the lucky victor to join Masters, Kurtz, and our series leader, Rowan Tungate, in the A final. Wow. And, well, out of these 3, you know, it could be, well, Frick you'd think would be the favourite, but we've got a 2x 250cc world champion in Gilmore in there, who hasn't been taking a backward step all night, and in fine form. And Jack Holder, I think he's yet to, well, he'd have the red mist starting to fly after he's touching the tapes again.
Yeah, but he went out in his last ride and he didn't, to be honest, in his last race he didn't, I thought he was going to come out all guns blazing, but he kind of looked a little bit ordinary, didn't he? And he was in that race, he finished behind Max Frick and Jordan Stewart.
So
but, you know, B final, you've got a spot for the A final up. So I think the form guide goes out the window, Braxy. You just, you know, they're just going to line up from the tapes and give it everything.
4 laps of mayhem.
A minute to sort the final out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a lot of time. It's just such rapid. And there's no, well, tactics. Is there tactic in something like this at a final? You just got to go and.
Well, the only tactic you can really ever have in a speedway race is to try and make the start, and then if you're unlucky enough not to do that, then you just got to figure it out as you go. Go where there's a bit of room. Sometimes is all you can do.
Well, that's what Kirk's proved this evening.
Kurtz has done that, hasn't he? He hasn't made every start. He's put himself into some tight positions. He's had to get his elbows out. He's had to move a few people around, and
that's an understatement.
Wow.
Yeah. But as they say, if there's the width of a tyre is about 3 inches, 75 millimetres. So the rim. So if you've got that much room on track, there's enough room for your front wheel.
Well, there you go.
I think that's a pretty good analogy of what it goes through a racer's head, whether it's dirt track, motocross, speedway, road racing or whatever. If you've got enough, if you can see there's room for your front wheel there.
See daylight, you go for it, don't you?
As long as you don't put any over-the-top moves on. But these guys have been racing that long. They know exactly what they're up against. It's just a matter of the red mist and the adrenaline takes control of the common sense.
They're all pretty sensible, aren't they? They've all got a race again on Friday night, so and then again on Sunday night. It's actually been good because we saw before with Frick and Kurtz, they were tight and you know, a bit of touching and stuff and hard racing.
But then a slap of the hands on the way back to the pits.
That's the way it should be.
And the same with Gilmore and Kurtz as well.
Yeah, and then, you know, Etheridge Jai was not happy with Pickering and but you know, he probably didn't realise how hard his mate had hit the fence, and then by the time he'd picked the bike up off him, it's all done. Everything's okay.
He's got that bit of it, just the emotions got out of him through his bike.
Matt Pickering's all okay. He's got a bit of a sore hand, but he's pretty much none the worse for the wear. But considering what he did, I think he's dodged a bit of a bullet there. He just got the angle right at the end, didn't he? Instead of the straight-on hit, he glanced. Managed to get it around on a bit of an angle. And he wasn't probably in control of that, Braxy. There was probably a bit of luck involved in just.
I'm sure he's going to have a sore midsection tomorrow.
Yeah. And Joel Coyne, he's been off twice, and you know, Reardon, they tangled a little bit into turn 3, and he hit the ground pretty hard with that, and then he looked unsettled for the rest of the night. Slipped off and backed it into the fence. Still a big hit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's not too forgiving either from what we've noticed. But it shouldn't be too much longer before we have a bit of on-track action. They've gone around and they've made sure there's a big, wide, white line around the inside perimeter of the track, so the riders know exactly where it is. But, well, Etheridge isn't there this time, neither's Pickering. But, yeah. Pickering was the one that got the wrath of the stewards on that one, the referee.
We said before, Braxy, he was lucky probably in round 2 and in an earlier race that he didn't cop it as well, really.
But from this distance, the track looks absolutely pristine.
Yeah, and it's riding. I mean, it's producing good racing, isn't it? The boys they're all confident to get into the corner. They're racing close with each other, and you know. We've seen Tungate pick up a couple of times at different spots, but apart from that, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, well, out of that last leg, the White Gate got 2 of the wins, Red got 1.
Yeah, but Kurtz didn't make the start from the White Gate, did he? He had to
muscle his way through.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they pick for the final, because it's bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Gate 4 looks pretty good, and you know, guys are making it from gate. Well, they're kind of getting themselves into good positions from every gate.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at the back numbers. Hopefully, we'll get a look at the bibs on them to make sure that we've got the list they gave us is correlating with what we've got written down here from gate 1 to 4. So it looks like the machinery has left the track as our bikes come out on track at the moment. And I'll call it as we've given the list of riders with Max Frick on bib number 1. I'll check these if we get the rear view.
It looks to me like we've got Frick in red from 1,
Yep.
Jack Holder in blue from 2, Jordan Stewart white from 3, and Matt Gilmore in yellow from 4.
Gilmore from 4, yeah, so
Yeah.
it wasn't in the list that they gave us, unfortunately.
Correct riders, wrong order.
Yep. So just going through that again, Crumpy. We've got Frick in 1, then we've got Holder in blue.
From 2, yeah.
From 2, and then we've got, did you say Stewart?
Jordan Stewart from white.
From white, and from yellow we've got Happy Gilmore. Let's see how happy he's going to be at the end of this one.
Yeah. Bit of a surprise, actually. Jordan Stewart's chosen gate 3 over gate 4, but haven't been out for a look for a little while, Braxy, so obviously these boys know.
Yeah, well, the winner of this, there's no points for this one, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls at home. It's and around the world, as a matter of fact. It's the winner goes straight through to join Masters, Kurtz, and Tungate in the final. Here they go. Who's going to get the launch out of it? Gilmore gets not a bad drive from there, but in the middle, blue.
Jack Holder.
Jack Holder. As he saved the best. Oh, I tell you what, Frick was balked a little bit then, trying to down goes
Geordie Stewart.
Geordie Stewart. So that'll be well, let's see how far they get. Have they backed it off yet?
Jack Holder made a perfect start off gate 2 there. Managed to get across the front of Max Frick, and that's a bit of a surprise. Frick's way out wide there. He's made an error there, and that's just given Jack Holder the opportunity to pull out a lead.
So that'll look like Jack Holder is the one that moves into the final, the A final, as a matter of fact. It's good to see that Stewart's got out there, but it's Frick there in second, and then in yellow it is Gilmore rounding up third. So he's made his first, final, even though it is the B final. Good on for Matty Gilmore.
Yeah, Max Frick's going to be disappointed with that.
Yeah, so Holder the winner.
Jack Holder the winner, Max Frick in second. Third place to Matt Gilmore and a fall for Jordan Stewart. Good on Geordie for jumping up off the track. Didn't have to pull the race back.
So winner there from Frick in second position. Then Gilmore in third. So that's Holder's second win of the night. As we look at a replay and looking to just go straight into get the drive. I'll tell you what, Frick had,
they all lifted a little bit off the corner there, but it didn't really seem to affect them. But the biggest, you can see Jordan Stewart, he's just gone in there a little bit offline and run out of room. I don't think there wasn't much in that, was there? I think he's just probably lost the front a little bit on the slippery entry there. But Jack Holder made a cracker of a start, didn't he, off 2? He bolted to the corner there. I wonder if that means Brady Kurtz will choose gate 2.
I think he's had pretty well, looking at where he's done it over the period of the night. Kurtz was in white at his last round. And then around 4.
You can see Geordie Stewart there. Maybe he's actually had a bike problem, because he's going straight on there and he's just actually had to lay it over to avoid hitting the fence. He's gone in with a bit of a whack as well. He's jumped straight back up and got off the track, so they didn't have to red flag him, which is good sportsmanship. We've got the little boys, the 125 boys out.
Having their final dig for the night.
Yeah. How good is it that they get to, he's down.
Mate, just the atmosphere and what they drag out of this by seeing the best in Australia go at it and then having a good crowd to watch them.
Yeah, they feel like they're part of the show, and it's really
good. They are part of the show.
They are part of the show, exactly.
They're treated like any rider.
The leader's got a bit of smoke coming out of his bike there.
Yeah, it's not a 2-stroke.
No.
But you look at the styling of them as they lay it down and got the steel shoe.
Now.
Looks like he's got a pair of wellies on.
Oh, that's the beauty of it. Grassroots speedway, it's great, you know, and they don't mess around.
No.
They're straight back around. The tapes are down for the next race, back into it again. It's great to see.
Yeah, I was just saying it's a pity they didn't actually give us the numbers, because I've given them a bit of a Riley Plum, Michael Cogdell, Julian Bond, James Crundwell, and William Gross, the 5 guys that strutted their stuff here in front of a pretty healthy crowd here in
Undera. Good start from gate 1. He's still got a bit of smoke coming out.
Whoa, position number 3's running a bit wide.
Saved it.
Yeah.
14 seconds having a dig up the inside here.
He's not leaving anything out in the arena tonight as he goes up the inside.
Oh! And his mates avoided him. He's run off the track to avoid him.
And it just shows you how light these bikes are. He almost picked that up one-handed. How much would these little things weigh? If you've got the your big bikes weigh at about 70 kilos.
It's about 77 bracks.
77
for the proper bike. Do you know what? I actually don't have a clue.
They'd be about, I'd say you'd have to be about half the weight.
Maybe a bit more, maybe 45, 50 kilos.
Good sportsmanship there, going to see if his mate's okay. It's probably mum there with the camera. You all right? Great stuff to see him out there and having a bit of a dip, and good sportsmanship all round.
Yeah. Have we got another race? No, just straight into the big final now.
Yep. Well, it's getting on here in Australia at 10:20. As around in England at the moment, it's 11:20 in the morning, Wednesday morning. What a way to wake up in England on a cold, frosty morning with a bit of hot action here from Undera in northern Victoria. And just to rub it into you people over there in England, it was what, about 30 degrees today?
Yeah, nice summer's day, wasn't it, Braxy? 30, 32.
That's about 85 in the old school. And track temperature, well, you saw that at some point. It was up around 50-odd degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
my old man's actually over there at the moment.
He's coming back here shortly, though. You said to me the other day that he might be dropping back to these shores.
Back to Australia within the next few days, maybe, and yeah.
So, yeah, mate, it's been a great day. Well, I've had the stifling heat of Curry last week. Hopefully that was the heat wave of the weekend. Yeah, exactly right, KJ.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go in the country, Australia, up and down the Queensland and New South Wales and Victoria.
You look at the riders.
Yeah, you're right there, Ron.
Yeah. Lee Adams, to name a few.
Yeah.
Jason Lyons, Mark Lemon, myself. I think the list goes on. No, Pooley wasn't quite in that age group, but a load of the riders from South Australia. But
here we go.
I guarantee you that all the guys in the A final tonight, I bet they all rode Junior Speedway.
That's Brady Kurtz, the man of the moment, the one to get the first clean sweep of the one round.
Straight into gate 1.
Or is he still going to have a look?
He'll have a look, but knowing Brady,
he likes that. He's given that a few taps.
I reckon he'd be probably thinking about gate 4.
Sam Masters is heading straight in that general direction by the look of it.
I reckon that's
onto the outside.
That's because that's what he had in the last race, Braxy.
So Kurtz will get the selection, won't he, of the because he had the perfect score of 15 points.
Yeah.
So second on the cards would be the Sam Masters and Rowan Tungate were both on 13 points. But because
Justin Sedgman's walking out there with Sam Masters. That's young Sedgy back in the fold.
Yeah.
Rowan Tungate.
So I'm just trying to think who would get the second selection, because Tungate and Masters finished on equal points.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe Sam, because he
he
had
had
4 wins.
Yeah.
I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
The only other option of that is who got the best position in the final.
Do you know what, Braxy? They're all stood here looking at the gate positions. No one knows what to take because they've all won races off every gate.
Yeah. Is that a very unusual...
Not really, but Jack Holder's the only one here. He's last pick, so he's left with it. He doesn't have a decision to make, so he's got nothing to lose. You know, Brady Kurtz will look at it and
he could probably go out and say, mate, I had a good start out of that one.
Yeah.
Maybe you should take that. Bit of reverse psychology.
Yeah.
But, geez, I tell you what, they haven't got much room left when you're looking at, there's some nice ruts there.
Yeah.
Does that help? Would you be looking at a rut like that to see?
Definitely.
Yeah?
100%, yeah.
And look at the angle from gate number 4, the yellow gate. It's at a 45-degree angle compared to everybody else.
It's all okay if you make the start, but if you're not in front, you're going to run into the side of the guy off 3.
Yeah.
But Brady actually has no idea here what to take, does he?
No.
He's asking his brother what to take, I think. Rowan, if he has a choice, he's going to take gate 1. That's Rowan Tungate.
He's having a good
Brady
dig around there.
gate 3. That's a surprise. That is a bit of a surprise for me.
Do you think he's taken 3?
Definitely. He's put the white colour on.
Ah, yes, of course. Yeah.
It's white, isn't it? It's not blue.
Well, there's a blue one there.
Yeah, that's a white.
So Rowan still hasn't got his red one. Well,
Masters yellow, Kurt's white. Masters yellow.
So, hang on.
Yeah, Kurtz is definitely taken white.
Masters yellow. So looking at that there, Jack Holder has got blue on. So you'd think that number 5, being Rowan Tungate, should have the red cap on.
I don't think Rowan's decided yet, or is he? Yeah.
Kurtz, that's a pretty dramatic. We'll have to.
Oh, it's not dramatic, Braxy, but I'm just a bit surprised. I would have thought he would have taken 1 or 4, but he was obviously happy off 3. It put him into the first turn where he obviously wants to be in that last race. But if Sam Masters makes a start here, I don't think he'll go anywhere near as wide as what he did.
Well, the white gate has won a quarter of the races. It's won 4 races out of the or 5th of races out of the 20 heats.
Yeah. I'm going to say that Rowan's taking gate 2 and Jack Holder's got gate 1.
Actually taken 6 on a recount, the white one.
Yeah, well, there we go. Jack Holder red from 1, Rowan Tungate blue from 2, Brady Kurtz white from 3, and Sam Masters yellow from 4.
Interesting.
Mick Holder there giving his son, his youngest of 3 sons, Jack, 3 racing sons, Jack Holder, a bit of advice off the inside.
You'd have to think what Masters has done from the outside and being on that line that he might be, well, I think he's a favourite. But Kurtz is a favourite for me. Yeah, I think he's got a bit of a line there. But, well, Kurtz is there in
3,
isn't he, on the white?
It's really
that's
quite
quite
unusual for the first gate choice to go to white. I mean, 95% of tracks, white's almost the worst one.
Yeah.
Due to the racing line being over the top of that down the straight,
Yeah.
But obviously he's happy with that, and he won race number 20 from white, and he's gone it, and he's backing himself to make it to do something similar.
So there was 6.
I'll tell you who the dark horse here is, Braxy, and that's these guys giving Jack Holder gate 1 in the final. And he started to look right down at the inside of gate 1, right on the inside, where his dad pointed out to him, where it's a bit darker. See where he's lining up? And that looked pretty good to me earlier on in the day. I said to you there was a spot right off the inside of gate 1, and he's rolled in there. He wasn't looking at that. He was looking at the ruts on the outside, and then his dad showed him that. So well done, Mick Holder.
Only 3 races from the red gate have won.
Oh no, he's changed his mind now.
So 6 from yellow, 3 from red. And the rest are split obviously between the blue and the white. But again, as we look at the final, we've got Jack Holder in red, Tungate in blue, Kurtz in white, who's had the perfect score tonight with 5 from 5, and Sam Masters, the defending champion. And we've got the 2016 champion right beside him in Kurtz. So Holder red, Tungate blue, Kurtz white, and Masters in yellow. Oh, this is going to be a great race. Who's going to get the jump and who's going to come back and fight for it? Takes her up. And Sam Masters gets a good one, but no, turn the blue, Tungate. Oh, and the other
Jack
two
Holder. Jack Holder up the inside. No, not quite. Here comes Brady Kurtz.
There goes
Kurtz has done them all.
Tungate's gone down.
Oh, no, that's Jack Holder.
Sorry, Holder.
Brady Kurtz took a bit of a dive up the inside there. We want to see the replay of that up the inside into turn 3, and actually put himself across the front of everybody on the way in there.
So
might find the white exclusion light coming on here possibly.
Oh, what a way to finish at
Yeah,
night.
I think Brady knows. I think he knows he's out for that. Yeah, white lights on. Brady Kurtz excluded. Couldn't really understand Braxy why he wanted to take gate 3.
Well, it's come back to bite him, that's for sure,
Definitely,
hasn't it?
and like he's made a mess of that because he did this. Here we go. Sam Masters makes a start. Tungate pushes him out. They're all in a gaggle here. Look at Brady Kurtz swings to the inside, straight up the inside, touches him. He's almost across the inside line. He's gone straight through in front of all of them. And luckily to pull it up.
Yeah.
Lucky to pull it up. I don't think.
Oh, does he actually? Have you got to have both wheels in it? Because the back wheel just tagged the...
Look at that. That's tight there, isn't it?
Oh,
Masters has got to turn there to avoid it. Jack Holder's then got to turn and comes... Yeah. Brady's gone right up the inside.
He's almost gone there as well.
He's gone. And Brady's just gone straight through. He's actually lucky to pull it up.
He's actually touched... His back tyre has touched the chalk.
Like the inside chalk?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you just saw that little puff on that replay. So what?
It was a hectic turn 3.
Oh.
He went from last to first. He knew he probably had one chance to get through there, and he had to take a punt right up the inside.
So what's Rowan got to say at the moment? He's having a...
I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know. Masters is out there as well.
Was Brady Kurtz white light on or not?
It was on.
It was on, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, and you said
was Jack Holder not happy with Sam Masters there about something?
Something there that come up and lead up when that come out of that bottom turn by the look of it.
Yeah.
And it's like a concertina effect where one started, the rest is unfolded in as each one's gone on.
Yeah.
So now that Tungate's there, they're actually pointing him.
So he's pointing to Brady Kurtz's line. Like, look at his wheel mark across the track there. It was certainly a bit of a death dive up the inside, and he came from a long way back as well, didn't he? And he overtook everybody, but he didn't really think about making it round the corner.
They don't seem to be in any hurry to go anywhere
I would
either.
think the way Jack Holder's bike hit the boards there, he possibly needs a couple of minutes to get a few things sorted out on that. Sam Masters getting his helmet on now, so it must be nearly time. Be interesting to go back and have a look at that again and just see a bit more of what happened if we can.
In the lead up to it.
Yeah. Because they all got very, very tight on the exit of 2, didn't they? And by the time they're halfway up the back straight, Sam Masters was actually already almost starting to turn to save himself running into Rowan. Yeah. And then, obviously, for the guys behind, Brady Kurtz had that run up the inside.
I've seen more room in a pick hour train than what we saw there.
It was a B-52 bomber up the inside.
Well, like you said, he saw that he had one chance to do it, and he had to make the move. And that stemmed from, here comes Jack Holder. They got that bike fixed. That stems from a poor choice of gate positions. Look at that, straight up. Yeah, he had chalk off the back wheel too, didn't he? Yeah. If we go back a bit more from there, you can see here, right there, from there, they're all moving over. And look at the line through there.
Yeah. So Rowan's out front, and Sam's coming up probably just to hold his spot. Jack Holder shows his nose up the inside. Sam's turning, Jack's turning. Brady, yeah, he's right up the inside. Oh, yeah, he's over the inside line. Right. I don't think there was any argument from Brady Kurtz, was there? He rode into the pit gate. But here we go for the restart.
So on the inside, we've got Tungate. Then we've got
Holder,
Tungate, and Masters.
Away.
And
Masters.
who gets the jump?
Tungate again.
Oh, but he runs it wide, and Masters and Holder. All the legs out. There's kicking and screaming, and they're definitely not asking each other for a drink after this one's finished, that's for sure.
Great start again from Rowan Tungate. Knew where he wanted to be.
Wow,
he's got some pace, but Sam Masters is having a go here behind him. Rowan's going to want to keep going, keep pushing. Jack Holder at the back in 3rd place.
Yeah, well,
but Rowan he's just smooth, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's looking more and more comfortable as the night's gone on, no doubt. But Sam Masters is still with him. And
well, the last lap flag is about to come out. And I don't think that Masters has got anything up his sleeve that he can relegate Tungate. So will this be 2 round wins from 2 starts for Rowan Tungate?
Looking very much like it.
Well, he just threw all our predictions out the window as Sam Masters runs it wide. Still has a look around, but he manages to hang on to 2nd position. But as Tungate wins in Curry and wins in Undera. Wow. Well, we've had a bit of a dramatic finish to that 2nd round here at the Undera Speedway. So Tungate wins. He takes 4 points, 4 valuable points. Masters will take 3. Jack Holder will take 2. And unfortunately for Kurtz, he won't get any of the cherries on the top of the pie. After 5 wins from 5 starts, and then he blows it in the final. But man, Rowan Tungate, 5 times Australian dirt track champion, is looking good. We said there might have been 4 individual winners, but there's definitely not going to be that now with Tungate winning the 2 opening rounds of the 2018 championship. So he's got the checkered flag, and put your hands together at home and around the world for this young 27-year-old. Another one of the Curry. Well, as we've said many, many times, there's something in the water up there with the likes of Casey Stone and Chad Reed coming from the same district. And Brady Kurtz, the one we thought had one hand on the round 2 win, crashed out, forcing a restart. Sorry, he didn't crash out. It was he was the one that went into the chalk line and relegated himself. He didn't need to be told twice. Tungate was the one that went into the fence. Sorry, pardon my apology. Jack Holder was the one who went into the fence in the red. So Tungate takes pretty much a stranglehold on this one at the moment. As we go down to see words of wisdom from our top 3, down to Crumpy and Aidan Williams.
Third place on the night, Jack Holder. You had to do it the hard way through the B final and bit the dust in the first staging of the A final, but third place overall, not too bad.
Yeah, it's great. After that tape exclusion and then third in the last one, I packed up. I undid everything and didn't think I was going to be in the semi, but I was last pick and made a big change on the bike and popped out and won it. And the final was always going to be tough. And as you can see, the first go, we all went in there and look what happened.
4 into 1 didn't quite go, did it? But you were all bunched up off turn 2 and down the back straight. I think Rowan started to turn, Sam had to turn, you had to turn. Brady was on the inside and charged right through all of you and didn't really leave you anywhere to go.
Yeah, I know, that's racing though. It's such a small track and it's the A final. No hard feelings, that's racing. And at least we're all in one piece.
Well done, Jack. Great effort. Over to Aiden.
Now, I'm here with second place, and it's been a pretty stellar day for you throughout, coming into the night, second place in the final.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely better than Curry, so that's good. But this is one of my favourite tracks of the round, so it would have been nice to win, but Rowan was fast at the end, and unlucky to Brady, and good stuff, Jack. Jack done it the hard way, but Brady was going for it in the final. But it was a good night for, I think, everyone, and it was good.
Good night for everyone, but especially you. Obviously, that really disappointing results of the first one. Got to feel good now to bounce back.
It would have been nice if the winners, or the boys that scored all the points in the first round, didn't do as good as they did. So I'm still a long way behind, and it's going to be tough to catch up. But it's all the way up for me. So we just got to keep plugging away.
Well, it's never over till the fat lady sings. Anything we're going to change up before we head over to Mildura?
We changed enough in the workshop through the week. So, and then thank you to Justin Sedgman and Gav for lending me an engine because I was pretty stuck there for a bit.
Congratulations.
Cheers, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sam Masters, second on the night. We're going to go back over to Crumpy.
Yeah, here I am with round 1 and round 2 winner, Rowan Tungate. You came into this meeting at Undera Park Speedway saying it wasn't your favourite track. Dropped a point, only 1 or 2 points in the heat races tonight. Perfect start in the final to come away with round 2 victory as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just stoked to come away to make the final. I was really happy, but to win is just something special. So I've got the monkey off my back with Undera, so I can like the track again, and just really stoked to win.
Well, you told me before proceedings started that Undera was around you were probably least looking forward to, not because you didn't like the track, just you'd never got the results you felt you deserved here. And now we go to Mildura and Gilman, 2 tracks that I guess you're looking a lot more forward to.
Yeah, definitely. You know yourself, when you're riding good, you're confident, and it all just falls into place most times. But I've got to be on my game and do all I can and just keep plugging away at the points.
A couple of moments out on track tonight. There was an instance in turn 2 there where you didn't quite attack the corner enough and the bike lifted and put you right out onto the boards, and then it seemed to me after that you kind of gathered things back up again and pulled things together.
Yeah, definitely. It was probably more me riding a bit more aggressive than set up, and you're definitely right there. And but no, we found a good setup in the end, and I was pretty comfortable.
Well done, mate. Great job. Over to Aiden.
Well, guys, it was an amazing night that we had out here for round 2. Braxy, you're up there in the booth all night. It had to be spectacular vision.
Oh, it was great vision. I'll tell you what, it was very tight. The racing was sensational. There were some great passing manoeuvres and some very, very firm passing manoeuvres, mind you, but it was all clean in love and war. And tonight, the recipe that put the ingredients together was Tungate again. We were saying that there might have been 4 individual winners over the 4 rounds. Well, that's been blown well and truly out of the water at the moment. Tungate come through. He got more smoother and more consistent. He was picking his lines a lot better, and he was just the one bubbling under the surface where everybody, well, we were talking about Masters and Kurtz were the ones that were going to be fighting out, but looked like Kurtz done it. Just that rush of blood trying to get up the inside, and it was a little bit of a concertina effect, and it really opened the door for in that restart for Tungate to get out there and lead them home. So Sam Masters picked up some valuable points, but you know, like we said, you can't win it in the first round, but you can certainly lose it in the first round. And poor old Sam, the defending champion, he's had his run of bad luck. Kurtz has had a bit of bad luck with the first round, with missing 1 race. Perfect score here, knocks it out of the park, and you think, well, he's on form. But you picked it up, Crumpy, with the choice of gate, getting there at the start, mate. And Tungate's now, he's got a very, very handy points lead. bring on Mildura in a couple of days' time.
And what can we say about Tungate? We really did know this one might have been the one that could have been costly to him. Polar opposite tracks that you could go to from Curry here, so really impressive to be dominant at both.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't say Rowan was dominant tonight. He certainly rode really well, and you know, there was a few errors through the heat races, but he generally held it together very well. And of course, in the money race at the end, he made the most of, in my opinion, Brady Kurt's a little bit of inexperience choosing gate 3. No way, personally, I would have chosen that gate, and I don't think probably Rowan or Sam could believe it when he took that gate. The rush of blood was a result of an error that was made earlier on, and he had one opportunity to make a bit of a death dive up the inside into turn 3, and it was never going to work. You know, there was not enough room for all those guys to get through, but good to see Sam Masters back on his game. Jack Holder picked himself up and put himself into the A final. The disappointing rider from tonight was definitely Max Frick. He'll go away from this round really, really disappointed. And, you know, just as we keep saying, that the rounds, you have to be consistent. You have to get those 12, 14, 15 points a time if you want to challenge what what Rowan Tungate and Brady Kurtz are doing at the moment.
Now, you have to be consistent. We know that in any championship, as you say, you know, you can't win it at the first one, you can lose it. That was obviously costly for Masters. Great to see Holder back up there. Now, track, we're only 2 days away. There's really not much time to go back to the drawing board. You're not reanalyzing, and not too many changes can be made. Mildura, a couple of days' time, what can we expect?
Possibly something a little bit more similar to what we had at Curry. I don't think the track will be quite as, it'll probably be a bit smoother and possibly a little bit less dirt on it. A slightly bigger track than here, definitely wider with, you know, and Mildura is although a smallish track, it rides very, very fast. So I'm looking forward to it. But the way it stands at the moment, Rowan Tungate's going to take a bit of beating because he's consistently he's getting points from every race he goes in. And honestly, he's really the only one that's doing that at the moment.
He is the only one, ladies and gentlemen, but if you want to tune in and find out exactly where this championship is going, as we said, it is only 2 days' time from now. We're going to swing back to Victoria, and it is a hard-hitting track out there at Mildura. We hope you've enjoyed all the action here of the second round of the 2018 Australian Speedway Championships. From myself, Aidan Williams, of course, Jason Crump and Mark Brax. We hope to see you in a few days.